Hello, and you're listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and
Joseph K.
And you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, Castbox, and Podbeam. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it. Tell your mom about it. And while you're at it, we also have a Facebook page. You Still Going On About That. Again, like it, join it, comment, share it. And thank you and enjoy. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that.
Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, starring Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Chewbacca. With
Chewbacca as Chewbacca.
As Chewbacca.
Right. Well, yeah, fresh off Corvette Summer, we got Mark Hamill.
I was happy to see Chewbacca be in, he just was in Episode 3.
Right.
And to see him in Episode 4, I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Chewbacca is a working actor.
I did not expect to see Chewbacca again in the Star Wars series after watching Episode 3 and then watching it at 4.
Yeah.
That was weird.
In a lot of ways, he's the glue that holds that narrative together.
He's like the Forrest Gump of Star Wars. He just shows up in places.
Yeah. It's a small galaxy.
Yeah, it's a very tiny galaxy. Coincidence everywhere.
Yeah. Or Force.
Force, yeah. Or midichlorians.
Yes.
Hey, where were the midichlorians in this movie? Okay, so I was going to make this failed attempt, and we recorded it, and we're going to edit it out.
I'm probably going to put it in after the end song.
Yeah. So it was to be a joke about how I watched these in order, Episode 3 through 4, even though obviously 4 came out 30 years before Episode 3. It's one of those... Star Wars is an odd one in that fact. That's why I always say, I don't know how to get kids to watch the original trilogy. If they watch, the new Episode 7. Or even Episode 2. Or
yes.
It's a strange series in that aspect. And I know that they went back and fiddled with it, and with the special editions.
Yeah.
And then they did it again with the DVDs, and I think they touched them up again in the Blu-rays, the Ewoks blink in Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
it's a subtle thing, but it actually it makes it look better. They don't have these
core
eyes
that
just don't move. Yeah. It's it's funny though. I'm watching the special or the. I don't know what the hell versions, because I have the Blu-ray. It's the most up-to-date version of the special edition, because they went in and fiddled with it again. New Hope, of course, has the most fiddling with.
Yeah.
Just because, it's amazing in that, we talked about movies, like the fact that a year or two before Logan's Run comes out.
Right.
And how that is such a product of its time, and you see such a jump with Star Wars.
Yes.
And then but my God, the jump between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back
it's monumental.
It's just movies are just made differently. Now, of course, I don't even know, what was Star Wars made for, $10 million?
It was made for very little. I don't know the number.
Even at the time, it was not considered a big budget film.
Right. I remember, and if I remember right, they blew a lot of their money on Alec Guinness. I think.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, he made, I know he's talked shit about Star Wars over the years, I would see, or try to downplay it, but that man, he had some crazy contract too, where he collected a certain amount of the profits.
Oh, jeez.
He made hundreds of millions of dollars off of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Right. He lent, we've talked about this before, he lent a gravitas to the film, and Peter Cushing. There's a few actors, they probably got disproportionate amounts of money. Star Wars. I don't know. I do. We've talked about this about
the guy who played Porkins.
Porkins.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about Star Wars, in my failed attempt at trying to
pretend that
it's this movie, and how this movie has is really poor when it comes to diversity.
Yeah.
But I will say, a plus size person.
Yeah, but they did name him Porkins.
Yes, and actually, what's funny about that? Yeah, so just in case you guys never saw Star Wars,
right?
Or maybe you don't obsess over the way we do.
Right.
But we know every scene, and like we know the backstories of like their older rebels. No, that's not even a joke. Like I knew people who knew the backstory of every rebel in the beginning of Star Wars,
right?
At the beginning of New Hope, like right before Darth Vader shows up.
Oh yeah.
Like they knew everyone's name. Of all those guys that get killed.
Their backstory, like what they were thinking as they were waiting for the door to open.
Yep.
Like, if I could only get back to my wife.
You know, it's weird. It's like, I watched Rogue One, too, if you want to count Rogue One's prequel. And, like, you see Darth Vader come in, and he's kicking the shit at everybody. Yes. He's using forcing. But when he comes in that blockade ship, he's just, like, chill. He's like, I'm just going, you know what? I already put on a show.
Yep.
I'm not going to overdo it.
I'm going to manually pick you up and choke you.
Yeah, I'm going to pick you up and choke you instead of doing the cool force shit. And I'm going to pull my lightsaber out once.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let the stormtroopers do the shooting.
Right.
And I thought that was kind of nice of him,
It was.
It was modest,
A restrained Vader.
A restrained
Sith. World-weary Vader.
Yeah, one who's just like, he's like, I got nothing to prove anymore.
Right.
Again, obviously, just kidding. Rogue One came out in 2016, and Disney wanted to have a fun little Darth Vader scene, so not everyone didn't fall asleep.
Yeah,
so they could leave, so they could convince themselves that they saw an amazing movie.
Well,
am I seeing Vader kick ass in the end?
I will say, I guess I don't even know where to start with.
What was it to get at? Oh, so the actor who played Porkins.
Oh yeah,
he's been in like a bunch of other things. He shows up in like Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's one of these actors. I think he passed away recently, but he's a character actor. The guy.
Wait a minute, who was he in Raiders of the Lost Ark? Was he
he's
the professor
in the beginning? Like the ones that that gives him like his job to go after the Ark.
Yeah,
he's like. Well, he's the heavier one.
Sure, yeah.
So there's
Professor Heifer. I think
Professor Swine.
Yeah,
Swinestein.
Right.
Swine. So he thought, because it was like a sci-fi movie, he was scared they were going to make him wear a pig nose and pig ears.
Is that true?
Yeah, he really did say that. I remember reading this, and I thought it was one of the funniest things I've ever read. And part of me wishes they did that, but let me tell you, that probably would have ruined the movie.
I'll bet you he said that during they're like, okay, you've got the job, and they give him the costume, and he's like, oh, I'm so relieved. I thought you were going to make me wear pig ears and
then
pig
you
nose.
just see the guy putting him away,
gradually slowly putting away the box.
But what if they did do pig ears and pig nose on Porkins? Do you think that would have ruined Star Wars? Do you think that that would have just made the movie so stupid or something?
I agree. Look, and we talked about this.
It's turns into Spaceballs, even though it's.
I think here's the thing, is that they tried to remake Star Wars a million times with other properties, and it never worked. And I think,
even Star Wars tried to remake Star Wars.
Right. But a big part of it is that these were recognizable humans, and the vast majority of them were pretty regular people.
It isn't really until Return of the Jedi that you see, because even in the Rebels and Empire, even though we're not talking about the other movies,
right?
You don't see aliens. You only see aliens in the bar,
right?
Aliens in the background. Aliens when it's to remind everybody you're in space.
Yeah.
But when it's the actual war and battle, it's just people. Yeah. And in Star Wars, the first Star Wars one, white ass people.
Well, yeah.
Now I know the movie was made in 1975, 76, released in 1977.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this a little bit via text, and I was like, look.
I mean, I was joking, obviously, but it's just it's just funny because if you're watching these movies in order, that's why I have no. And again, I know this is this could open the door to some people this is sacrilegious, can't say this, and it's not I'm not saying some woke shit or trying to be PC, the Ben Shapiro's like to say, or the or SJW. I'm not saying any of that. I'm talking about literally from a cosmetic, from a just. This movie's 42 years old. Yeah. That's a long time. Yeah, and that's an old ass movie. Well, you forget that because they keep chugging it out. So you don't think that this movie's old. You don't think about it because they're constantly making new ones. Mm-hmm. They're constantly making new product. You go to the store, you see some kind of Star Wars merchandise.
Oh, I've seen Star Wars stuff in the stores for nearly my entire life.
But not you. If there was a lag between Return of the Jedi and then like a good 5 to 10 years where you really didn't see too much of it. There is a but.
True,
ever
but
since the mid '90s, right? But ever since the mid '90s, it wasn't until like they released those THX tapes and they did the special editions. You have been just an endless onslaught of Star Wars, and so you forget when you see this movie and you watch it. And like I said, I've seen this movie a bunch of times. It's not the funny thing is it's not my favorite movie of the Star Wars series.
Right.
I didn't. It's like I saw Empire first. I still think Empire is the best one anyway.
Oh yeah,
it just is.
I think
like
that's
Star
pretty
Wars
undisputed amongst.
I think anyone who's like, it's funny because I remember like supposedly the rumor or whatever it was when Empire came out, like wasn't as quickly appraised. People were like, because they didn't know it ends on such a bummer thing, and you're just like, what the fuck? But this movie's like. You forget when you watch it, you're like, oh my god, this is such an old fucking movie.
It's old.
It's like, it's up. They can add as much CGI bullshit they want, and all that does is make the rest of the movie look old.
Yeah.
I would have no problem, in the right hands, having that movie completely redone.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about, I'm talking about even too, like, this is stupid, and I know people will be like, what the fuck, Trump or something. Measuring skull bumps, or
right.
I don't want to get piss off those right wing geeks that are trying to.
They're a sensitive lot.
Yeah, I don't want to make them mad, but I have no problem with them redoing Star Wars.
Yeah.
Follow the plot. Don't change shit.
Yep.
Follow the plot.
Same
script. All you change is you make the battle of the Death Star more intense. Mm-hmm. You make the Vader Obi-Wan fight more intense.
Yes.
You update it. You add a little diversity into the old fucking movie. I'm watching it, and I'm watching all these movies now because we're gonna talk about them, and I'm really paying attention now.
Yes.
It's like I always have them on the background, but now I want to like focus on them, look at them almost with new eyes.
Yeah, as much as you can. Yes.
And I watched this one, and I was just like. And again, it's like I just watched 1 through 3, and those movies have their own fucking problems.
They do.
But when you watch Star Wars, you just like, I mean, the beginning. It's funny. I saw a great video on like YouTube about how, and I've read about this too. Basically, editing.
Okay, yeah.
Saved that movie.
I could see that.
Those like scenes with Biggs and everything that were cut out.
Yeah.
Well, there's the reason why they were cut out too was because. All that stuff in the beginning of the movie,
right?
Lucas, I guess the original edit had it constantly cutting into Luke going into town, and then they would
there's a famous still from the movie that never got into the movie with Luke and Biggs.
Right, but there's a whole. It begins with like Luke with his little fisherman hat, and he's got the shitty little robot, and the robot's like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like really funny. It's like broken down robot, which I guess is leading to the fact that he needs new robots.
That's why he goes and purchases robots.
But the pacing is just garbage, and like it was just an interesting like how editing basically saved the original Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
But you see it and you watch it, and you're like, wow! Like the beginning of the movie, I will say. Is pretty amazing with the blockade runner, and then the Star Destroyer comes in, takes him in, and you see C-3PO and R2-D2, and I'm always like, I always forget, even as a kid, I'm always like, who's that other C-3PO?
Right, the other C-3PO.
They were just like, they just left him.
Yeah,
they're like, later.
Well, and like
we don't know you.
Right. It's kind of funny because like
the silver one, like
a lot of it made sense, like because like these were C-3PO was a protocol droid, and Leia was on a diplomatic mission, as she mentioned a few times, and they were like a Senate. I mean, it all sort of made sense. I think it probably is true that like editing saved it because so much of what's the original Star Wars does well is in the things it doesn't show you. You know what I mean? Like all these little things that kind of together make a story. Well, we've talked about this before about like, back in the Clone Wars. They never explain what the Clone Wars was, but you don't need to because it's like perfectly evocative. And when you see
your father and you were a general, and
right,
all this backstory stuff.
When C-3PO is like, I'm a protocol droid, you're like, oh, okay, and then you like instantly in your head fill in what that might be, and it's a senator who's a princess, and you're trying to like figure out like the government dynamics. And
she was a senator.
She was, because she.
A senator? That's a princess.
Yeah, well, isn't that what Padme was?
Well, Padme was a queen.
Oh, yeah, I take that back.
But
you're right.
Technically, it's a monarchy, or it's a monarchy system that in Naboo, and then they retire. They have them at a young age because everybody knows 14-year-olds are the most wisest people.
Yeah.
And then they...
Right. Well, okay, so let me go back. I watched, I guess, you watched the Blu-ray version, which you think is the latest, most up-to-date special version. I went on my TV and using Hulu, I searched for Star Wars A New Hope, and TNT has an on-demand version. Is
the Jabba the newer Jabba or the older one?
I believe it's the newer Jabba.
Then you probably... if anything, it's the DVD version.
Yeah, I think it is. And because I looked in the...
That scene is horrible. We'll get to that later.
Well, I looked on the more information tab of the on-demand show, and it said 1977. It clearly is not the 1977 version. You instantly know it's not. Now, when I first started watching it, and the blockade runner is making its run...
You don't see those black boxes around the stuff that you used to see?
The laser beams looked old, and some of the explosions were old, and I briefly thought to myself, I wonder if this is the original version.
They don't. Those things are not in circulation.
Well, there is. You can go on YouTube, and I think it's called the Unspecial Edition.
Yeah, you can find those, but
well, anyway, so
you're not going to have that on Hulu or.
But the first tip off is when and this is classic retrofitting of these movies. When you get to Mos Eisley, the original Mos Eisley had like 0 inhabitants. And now you get to Mos Eisley. You just saw
a couple of things.
Right.
Simple Jawas
and now it's like filled with things.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
okay,
whatever.
So we get to the beginning of the movie, though. Like I said, the ship gets taken in, and I know we were joking about Rogue One.
Sure.
But whatever. I do like how Rogue One does tie right into the beginning.
I love how,
But at the same time, it's like, I think when you see stuff like that, it's like, okay, you know what? I think it might be time to remake. I would be fucking fine with them, like, literally remaking the movie. I know people there says, look, it's a movie, guys. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's a product. It's a corporate product made to ingest. Soon it'll be a pill called Star Wars that you will swallow, and you can make it anything you want. You don't have to worry about Rian Johnson ruining your movie.
Wow.
You don't have to worry about it. You can make your own Star Wars movie. You can have Princess Leia in her slave outfit throughout the whole film.
Wow.
Think about it, guys.
Oculus Rift, here I come.
You know? Like, you don't have to worry about... You can make your own MAGA version of Star Wars. You can have your own...
Twilight edition.
You could have your safe space... neckbeard version of Star Wars. You don't have to worry about any type of diversity.
Right, where the Empire's the good guys.
Yeah. You know, the Empire's the good guys in that terrorist organization.
You know what? And I thought about this. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I will. Honestly, Star Wars would be really interesting, and bear with me here, as like a Netflix 40-part series.
It would be interesting being that they would never do that.
It was modeled after the Flash Gordon and stuff serials that were like 15 minutes before the movie.
I would prefer it to be a movie.
I would too, but I'm just saying, look, it's kind of built to be a series of cliffhangers. You know, all those swipes, transitions, that's the end of the episode. And then you have a new 20-minute episode. I mean, I don't know, I can see that.
You know, let's say we play dumb as we talk about these movies. I was going to make a joke, be like, you know, when Darth Vader sees Leia. And I'm not you kind of like get the idea that obviously Leia is a known enough presence in the galaxy that the Empire knows who she is.
Yes.
There's no secret behind her.
No.
They're fully aware who she is. They know what she looks like. They know she's from Alderaan. Mm-hmm. That she is an antagonist of the Empire. She's a princess. It's a senator.
She's a princess and a senator on a diplomatic mission from Alderaan. Well, and look, she clearly knows him because she's like Darth Vader.
Right.
Like, here we are.
I can tell your vile stench. I love her acting. The acting is such. dog shit in this movie too. I know like people like, but it's like old school. Like again, it's an old ass movie, so it feels, and you can tell like she went to like the Debbie Reynolds of like acting or something. Like everyone. It's just like how she delivers the lines. It's so
we're on a diplomatic mission. See,
yeah, Darth Vader. I see your vile stench from here.
Right. Well, yeah. It's you almost. I wish I could go back and kind of.
She has a Bronx honk.
Well, you wonder if they even told the actors to be a little intentionally not hammy, but like older, because it was a throwback to the serials. And
so, like, if we were to count so you know, in like episode 3 when they have like Padme wearing like she's got like the Princess Leia hair or like a version of it.
Yes, yeah.
It'd be great if like in my version of Star Wars, when I ingest the pill,
right,
and I create my own Star Wars.
Yes,
I want to have it where Darth Vader sees Leia and goes, "Padme, you look like Padme," and she's like, "What the hell is wrong with you? You look like." No, I killed her. And like, he just has like a nervous breakdown and leaves.
You know, it is.
She's just like, what?
Weird, because like
this happened.
Yeah, you wonder like why didn't he immediately recognize her as his?
Because those movies were made 20 years later. Yeah. See, and that's the other problem too. It's funny when you watch, because we talk about this too, how like Darth Vader in New Hope is so like subservient to Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
So they've done like again like Star Wars, like Disney Star Wars, and like or they've done books, and I don't know. I know more in the recent ones. I can't speak for like Dark Horse comics, but they did stuff where like Darth Vader's acting the way he did because basically he was not held in high regards to the Emperor at this time.
Yeah,
he did a couple of things wrong or.
Right.
Or, like, I don't know what it was. He was just like... But he's just a bad guy in the movie. He's like, it's not really until Empire that he kind of, like, becomes in charge. But that's also because Grand Moff Tarkin's out of the picture and he's kind of doing his own thing. And then you do find out that he's got a boss, too.
Right. You see the Emperor.
Or you see whatever the hell that was in the original.
Yeah.
But he's just this bad guy in a cool suit. And... You know, I've heard that's like one of the critiques about the prequels was that like by making it so centered on Vader,
right? On
like making him into like Jedi Jesus, and being like he's like Jedi Antichrist or something,
right?
Like, you make him into this such an important figure. In reality, he should have just been like a small portion of the story. And you could see his fall and all that, but it's not so fucking like overplayed and so over important. Like it's the most important thing in the whole Star Wars universe. Because when you get introduced to him in Star Wars, you know he's a big deal, but he's kind of like just a lackey. He's just he's like a general. You know, he's not even like.
Yeah, in the original Star Wars, when I first saw it, and I think I'll bet you Lucas said. Here's the whole backstory. I think Lucas had the vague contours of the whole story.
That thing with the dad did not exist until they made Empire.
No,
that is I'm like Vader, 99% sure that shit they came up with that when they made Empire.
I don't
Vader
know.
Luke's dad.
I would have to look because Vader literally means father in German, and like I don't know. Anyway, but I don't know.
I don't think. Yeah, you know that scene when Vader looks at Luke and goes, "Hey, son," and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he'll go, "You'll find out.
Right?
You'll find out soon."
I don't know. So, but when I first saw Star Wars, Vader was not the chief bad guy, really.
No.
He was, and there's that scene where Grand Moff Tarkin is basically saying, like, you and your freaky religion, and you almost got the idea
Which is bizarre, because you're like, isn't the Emperor a fucking Sith Lord?
Yeah, but, like, they didn't, I don't know.
That's why I always got the impression, too, when you Return of the Jedi, I always thought of, like, the Emperor as, like, not really a Jedi. Like, he was, like, he would tap into power or something like that, and that's why he looked so old. But he wasn't this like old powerful Sith Lord. He was just like, I don't know.
Well, did
They don't even...
Did the average people, let's say the average stormtrooper or Imperial officer, did they know the Emperor was a Sith?
No one, I don't think anyone did, right. Obviously. Except, like, here's this guy who all of a sudden now wears these dark cloaks and robes and when he used to wear normal senatorial
Well, like, I think that was it. I think, like, okay, so you have Palpatine is the Emperor, and it's
you're not introduced until third movie.
No, but, like, let's just say...
He's just this vague thing in Star Wars. They do say the Emperor like once or twice.
Yeah.
He's just a thing. I don't think they ever even say his name once. They don't even say Emperor in the second one. They just, but and when Vader, they re-edited it in the Blu-ray. When Vader does talk to him, it's just like the original name was Grand Inquisitor or something.
Oh yeah,
like, It wasn't even
right.
It wasn't even like he could have been like, who the hell knows what the fuck is going on here? Yeah. That was a cool scene, but like, let's focus on Star Wars.
Yes,
we'll get to Empire.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't even watched it yet. I'm just watching these in order. I've never seen any of these movies before. And that's why
buckle up when you get to Empire.
I'm watching these movies and I'm just like, what is up with the tone of this movie? It's terrible.
I did rewatch what is probably the most recent version on TNT on demand. I watched the whole thing all the way through. The version I watched, since I watched it on demand, I had to watch commercials. I couldn't skip over them because I'm not paying the extra $9 for Hulu's.
Yeah.
So it was 2 hours and 2 minutes, and the film itself was not that long, but that's how long my viewing experience was.
Okay.
Because I was forced to watch these 90-second blocks of commercial.
Yeah.
And look, the movie.
Nothing worse than watching a movie on TV.
Oh, it's bad. Well,
it's pretty bad.
It is.
It like ruins like all flow.
It is, but like honestly, I googled stuff on the commercial breaks.
Unless you plan on pissing every if you could pee every commercial break, then
I did run down. I think I only had like a couple beers during the whole thing. And look, the thing was, there were no surprises for me. When I was
the movie that you've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah. Look, and you and I have talked about this before. I saw that in the theaters a minimum of 20 times.
That's the thing. I never saw the movie really until I was like 6 years old when it came out on HBO. I felt like I've seen it. I read books.
Yep.
I had tons of toys. I saw Empire in a theater. I think I saw Return already. And I don't think I actually saw the original Star Wars because I was 5 when I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater. We went. I remember waiting online and going to see it. And I remember getting like the TV guide when they had the picture of of the cast of Millennium Falcon, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna finally see this fucking movie."
Right.
And I watched it on HBO. Finally, it was like premiering. It was like 1984.
Okay.
So it's already a year after Return of the Jedi came out, and I'm finally seeing Star Wars. But I don't know. I just felt like I saw it. Like I don't know what it was. I must have saw clips.
Well, you probably heard people talking about it.
I don't know. Yeah. I just always felt like I've seen it. Of course, I don't have like perfect memory of my age back then. I remember going to see Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I do remember going to see Empire, getting there late, missing the beginning with the Hoth monster, being very upset because I was very upset about that.
That's a classic severed limb scene from Star Wars.
Well, yeah. So it's just, okay. So I don't know. This movie is like it's funny. Like I don't hold it the same regard as I hold like Empire. I also don't, and maybe it's because I'm spoiled. It's like Star Wars New Hope is like, or just Star Wars in general. I mean, that's the only thing that was out in 1977. Everyone saw it. Like you said, you saw it like how many times in the theater?
Well, I saw it like 20 times in the theater. And then shortly after that, let me back all the way up. Before it ever even came out, I got the action figures. I got a 4-pack of action figures.
Well, you must have... There's no way those figures came out like 2 years after the movie came out.
No, my aunt got a...
that thing came out... Okay, so you must have saw it... You must have not seen it when it came out in the theater. So that winter, that Christmas, people wanted them. Kenner was not ready. Are you talking
about the box?
Yeah, Kenner was not ready for them. So what they did was they released these early bird special package where people literally paid for cardboard that would guarantee them the figures. And the figures, they said on that these will come out in spring of 78. So there were no toys yet. So they sold, but they sold out. Like people wanted them. So you must have not have seen those movies
No, I know I saw them.
You might not have seen them when the movie first came out because remember this is the 70s. There's no cable really,
right?
And there's no DVDs or anything, so they would keep these movies. Theaters would keep these movies in there as long as they could, and they would be second run theaters. They would be third run, and then they would bring it back. They re-released it in the theater. They would re-release it like 5 times.
And I'm perfectly willing to say that I'm wrong on my recollection, but my recollection was I got this cardboard thing with 4 figures.
Yes,
and then the others came in the mail later.
Yeah, I got them you didn't get the figures.
Well, I got 4 with the box.
But you did okay. Then you must have got it later because when it was initially released in '77 of Christmas.
All right.
It was literally a piece of cardboard that people paid for. It was like almost like you were buying a voucher.
Right.
Which
it came from
and because the toys weren't ready, because like the licensing deal took a long time, and no studio, no one wanted to do it because like I think that the joke was like Mego, which was like the biggest toy company at the time. They didn't want to do it because back then movies had like a 3-month window and typical movie, and it was like once that came out, it's not worth it. By the time you get the models made and get them into the store, no one gives a shit about it anymore. But no one knew what kind of monster Star Wars was going to be, and then that's why Kenner got it. There's documentaries about this. You can watch The Toys That Made Us on Netflix. Is a good one. There's another Star Wars documentary. I'm not making any of this up.
Oh no, I'm
not trying to ruin your memory.
I don't have like crystal clear memories of when I was
lots
7.
of drugs.
Well,
maybe huffing paint before each podcast is not a good idea.
I do remember seeing the movies. Well, as much as I can trust my memory, I remember seeing them because I remember this big, long conversation we had in our living room where my mom didn't want me to go see Star Wars.
Not me. I wasn't there.
No. My mom didn't want me to go see Star Wars because she heard there was a 20-minute dog fight in the movie.
She felt like an actual dog fight?
Yes,
with
and
dogs?
she thought that it was dogs fighting, and my dad explained that it was an aerial battle. Right. And then the big thing that kind of like cemented all this stuff.
I wish it was a dog fight.
But then at the end is the end of this like series of memories is I got a 8-track recording of like an 8-track old 8-track and it was the dialogue from the film. It was just like,
was it a bootleg?
No, I got two 8-tracks. One was the Electric Moog Orchestra playing all the music to the Star Wars, right, on Moog synthesizers. And the other was basically the dialogue to Star Wars. And it was the original voice actors. It was like someone just released the audio of the film. And there was no, like, exposition. It wasn't like... But, like, I must have listened to that. I was sick for, like, a week, during that year.
Yeah.
And I listened to that thing fucking, like, hundreds of times. I mean, like, to the point where I could, like, recite every line of dialogue very early, So when I say there was no surprises, a lot of that stuff got like super deeply ingrained in my memory. Just like random little bits of dialogue. I couldn't, recite it on demand, but when I see it, it's like in my head. Yeah. So,
it's like I said, I appreciate the movie for what it is. I have a hard time watching it now just because of like, the movie, it's like the movie, they didn't know what it was going to be. So it is limited, but at the time, I guess it was so new, the way it looked and the way the ships were and everything that, because to me, like I watched the Death Star scene, I'm like, hey, it's boring as fuck. You got this giant, and I'm being like stupid now, like the xylophone, magic xylophone, Simpsons reference, but the rib cage.
Well,
but like when you watch it, you got all the ships going there, and what do? The Death Star shoots at Darth Vader and like 2 other TIE fighter pilots. That's it. You get this giant. Now, when you see Return of the Jedi, there's like thousands. I mean, they got the money there. But like, I'm just saying, you watch this now, and I'm just like. And I watch these, like, the special edition, and I'm like, to me, all it does is just bring more attention to the fact that the movie is out of date. The movie needs to be either redone or just at least have a disclaimer in the beginning. It's like, dude, this movie's all shit. You're watching a middle-aged man right now, basically. talk on a podcast.
Well, I think, look, the first one does suffer from, like, a lack of budget because they...
It's not even just that. It's just like I mean, like I said, the movie as its own, if nothing else came out, it works as its own thing. It's a great ode to, like you said, to things of the past. It's a great mythology. It's funny, I took a mythology course in college. Because like I had to take like electives, and so I took that. And I know it's not like we talked about like centaurs and Zeus. It was
half human, half centaur.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was a weird mythology course. It wasn't like that. It was really good, but we had to do things on movies, and they told us about like like when Luke is handed down the saber from his dad. That's like such an old goes back to like Greek mythology and like the tools. And actually, when you watch the prequels and you realize Vader built C-3PO and R2-D2 was his too. It's almost like, again, the father giving tools to the son. So it's like expands on that, even though it's fucking ridiculous that C-3PO would be. That's ridiculous. But
it's as old as time. Like, you're right. Like, all of this stuff is...
It's all this time where a 9-year-old slave creates a protocol droid in their back in their nice house that...
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess, but that like calls back to like, and I think I don't know.
Well, the funny thing was, I remember in the class, the teacher said specifically, the professor was like, "Okay, we have to do a study like on mythology, and we have to pick a movie." And she said flat out, "You cannot do Star Wars."
Okay, yeah,
because it's like. Not because it's stupid or anything, because it's just too easy.
Too easy.
I did Clockwork Orange.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because it does go through journeys. It's all about changing and being reborn, like when he gets pushed in the water and the Droogs and everything. We'll do an episode on Clockwork Orange.
Actually, that'd be a good one.
Yeah. Vader, I mean, when Luke, all the different scenarios, it's like he's the whiny kid, and then in the end he's like blowing up a fucking... biggest weapon in the galaxy, and it's like the journey. There's a journey there.
Well, it's the hero's journey.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, and I watch it from a very loose, like, I'm like, and everybody, you could see why people like Han Solo, you could see why people liked Chewbacca, and Vader, and Princess Leia, and all the elements are there, and Obi-Wan's awesome, every scene that Alec Guinness is great, he's like not even in it enough.
Right.
But you watch... It's just like, it's so dated.
It is, but like, I think for me it came at a sweet spot, and it's because I think I saw it in the theater at my age. Everything I know about movies and stories comes from Star Wars. It's one of the first like grown-up movies I saw. I was born in '69. This came out in '77, so I was 8 years old, and like no one told me like C-3PO and R2-D2 that was like a trope, that was like a Laurel and Hardy, or that was a straight guy and a
also, what do they call that? Like, what are those characters? Chainsaw and Bob. No. What is it? Rosencrantz and Guildenstern?
Yeah, right? Yeah, like, they were the Greek chorus or something. Or,
they are the Greek chorus. And then, like, the fact that R2 can't speak, so he's like, it's like old riddles. Like, he knows everything, but he can't talk.
Right. He's like in some ways the fool. Like.
Well, there's another word for it. Like, I wish I knew what that was.
Yeah.
But there is like another word for like what R2 actually is. It's like he's like an element from mythology, but he can't communicate. So he's not a fool. The thing is, he's fully aware of everything.
Are you talking about like the blind man who knows all?
Kind of. Like R2-D2 is literally knows. When you watch those movies, especially when you see the prequels and then you see this, or if you just watch Star Wars in general, he knows more than C-3PO knows. C-3PO, if anything, is more the fool. R2 knows way more than anyone, and then he even lets himself up to. It's just that C-3PO, like, he can't speak.
Yeah.
He only goes beep, bloop, bloop, bloop. And
but like C-3PO can understand.
Did we talk about this, right? With going back to Revenge of the Sith, when the cutscene where Anakin talks R2.
Oh my lord! I spent an afternoon trying to figure out if that was real or not, and it's real.
Yeah. Well, it's like it didn't make it into the movie. What did you think of going back to another Star Wars prequel,
right?
Solo. I rewatched that recently just because I couldn't sleep one night. And it's on Netflix. I know they're gonna take it off. So I'm just gonna watch this, and Yeah, to me that would have been a good like pilot to a TV show.
Yeah,
like they should have saved that for Disney Plus. I don't. One that didn't cost $300 million,
right?
But when he confronts Chewbacca and he starts talking Wookiee.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just like,
okay,
it worked, but he never did it again.
Sorry, right?
Chewbacca was like, don't ever do that again.
You're embarrassing
I
yourself.
fully understand you.
This diminishes
this
both
is
of
Star
us.
Wars. This is a Star Wars universe where you could have Greedo show up and go, chinka, and Han's like, hey, tell Jabba, and they're having a full-on conversation, but...
Well, yeah, you're right. There are so many archetypes in that. The Han Solo is an archetype.
Yeah.
You know, the rascal with a heart of gold or whatever.
Yeah.
And... the princess, and she wore a white gown. She was kind of like this version.
They always. Do you think there were neckbeards in the 70s that were mad when she grabs a gun and starts shooting? I always find it funny then, like all the people who get pissed off at Last Jedi about the SJW agenda.
Right?
Isn't there an SJW? I mean, you could say there's a feminist SJW. I can't even say the word anymore.
Right?
I'm like all those people, but because that movie, it's like. Even that film, like, shows when Leia takes the gun.
Yeah.
She's not this thing in distress. She can handle herself.
Right.
She is a badass. Yeah, they still have her in the, like, when Luke swings and she kisses her brother.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
I mean, they still... But that scene's a big deal when she, like, takes the gun. And, like, people don't realize, like, that, like...
Well, and she fired a gun on the blockade runner. The real cool laser with like the spirals.
And again, this is like mid to late 70s, this movie. And not to say, you had a feminist movement and everything, but like, I'm just saying, like, you see all these jackasses today, like, pissed off, and I'm like,
I think we've gone backwards with feminism to some extent.
Well, I think we just have a loud minority of assholes that just have learned how to game YouTube's algorithm, learn how to tweet and game algorithms and take over social media and just be really loud. We're not backwards.
Right.
These are people that, like, when I was a kid in high school and someone would hand me a pamphlet. Or like I had a friend who handed me...
Who was that guy, Chick? The Dungeons and Dragons is going to send you to hell. Remember the pamphlet he made? Chick something. Wasn't his name Chick something?
Ooh.
The famous, like, evangelical guy he made.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, well.
I've just seen, like, Nazi comics and stuff like, like underground. Like, it would hand them out, and then I would see, like, really hard right Christian comics, or I've seen Nazi ones circulate, but they don't have to do that now. Now they have the internet. They don't have to. Yeah. They have all the different sites. So I don't. No, we're not backwards. We're not.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
We are where we're supposed to be. If anything, it's just that there's a loud minority of douchebags.
Yeah.
That are, and the scary thing is, like, these people had to, like, work in the shadows, and now they get to, like, put on nice suits and comb their hair over, and they look more presentable, and you're being tricked into thinking that we're moving backwards.
Right. Although now that I'm thinking, because it's weird, like when we texted about diversity in Star Wars, and it's so
There's
obvious.
no diversity.
Yeah, there is no diversity. But, like, honestly, are there any other women other than Leia?
No, she's the only girl.
She's the only. Yeah.
It's not till you get to Empire Strikes Back that you see the rebellion has any women. There's one girl woman, in that was cut in the beginning, like I was talking about for pacing, where, like, again, the original beginning of the movie was all this stuff with Luke,
right?
And it was like it slowed everything down to a snail pace, and that's where the editors came in and, like, they had to talk to Lucas and be like, listen, you're gonna this movie's dead if you do not, like, that intense, and the beginning of the movie is what makes that movie great.
Oh, it's
the
amazing.
ship, and then the panic droids, and then, like, all the stuff going on, and Vader, even though it doesn't meet to our standards today of action, but it still moves. It goes very quickly, and you don't meet Luke and thing until the droids escape in the pod.
Yeah, the droids go down. And then they land, and then they separate and get captured by the Jawas.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know is you see Luke trying to haggle with...
But you're introduced to Luke before that.
In the film?
Yeah. You just watched it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Luke. You do meet Luke earlier than that. He's working on the farm and the moisture farm.
That's right, yeah. And that's when Baru
yeah.
is handing him the blue milk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
right.
all that intense action happened. They originally wanted to have all this stuff cut in. So there's like him going to town and talking to these friends, and there's like this woman there that's like one of the guy's girlfriends, and she treats him like crap.
Yeah.
And that's when he talks to Biggs, and they're looking up, and you see the Star Destroyer,
right?
Like in the magnifying lens, they're looking up, and it just like maybe as a book this would be fine.
Yeah.
But as a movie, it would have just like
it's slow.
It would have killed the film because when you watch the movie later on, you realize there was like a snail space, and there was only so much they could do with editing.
Yeah. Yeah. You had Beirut and
I guess yeah. But she is an older woman. That doesn't count.
Yeah, but she was the voice of reason. Uncle Owen was so harsh, and
what the fuck happened to them?
Yeah,
there's a 19-year gap. Okay, this is the biggest failure. We talked about this in episode 3.
Right.
When we talked about episode 3, the prequels in general. What a fucking disaster. First of all, okay, maybe there's a thing they're not telling us. Maybe humans in space, maybe they have like a half-life. Maybe they only live to like 50. No, serious. I'm like, it makes no fucking sense. I mean, because you meet the Lars, they are literally an afterthought. It was like someone literally went up to Lucas during episode 2 and was like, "Yeah, you could introduce Owen and Baru," and he's like, "Oh, well, the people that were raising Luke in the movie you made, them."
Yeah.
I don't remember. Why? Oh, okay. Yeah. Why don't I just hire like a 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old boy,
right?
And I'll throw them in the movie for like 30 seconds.
Because the next thing you know, they're like 102 years old.
I mean, they are like Aunt May and Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, and they're old as fuck. I mean, they're not. I would say they're people that are well into their 50s.
Right.
These are not young-looking people. I mean, I know they're in the desert, but you don't go looking like Aunt Beru and Owen Lars in the prequels. They look. I'm sorry. I look at pictures of me, and I know there's a gap. But I'm only 42.
Right.
And I know, age, but I didn't age. In an 18-year period, I didn't turn into like a 60-year-old man.
Well, you've never moisture farmed.
True.
I don't think.
Yeah, I guess you lose all your moisture when you moisture farm.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird. It was.
It's just like one of those dumb things, and it's like I know they had a 19-year window that they had to deal with because you're in prison too because of Luke and Leia. So it's like, you get a 19-year window of like when Vader would have turned. But you didn't have to make everybody so fucking young. You could have had Obi-Wan be like in his 40s instead of like in his 20s. You could have had, again, everyone's like in their 40s. And it's like funny when you watch the original trilogy, like I never saw Vader. He always seemed older than me. And maybe it's because I saw him as a child. I'm sure people, even though I don't think I feel like kids who see me probably are like, this guy's an old fart or something.
Sure.
But like I just always pictured him as like an older person, like into his 50s or something. Not.
Well, I remember when I first saw the theater as a really young kid, not being real sure because, like we had talked about before we started recording, when Star Wars came, it kind of came out of the blue. And there was no internet to kind of fill you in on the details. There were no spoilers ahead of time.
Well, it's its own thing too.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying, like, I'm always looking at this movie in two different ways. If you see this movie as a film by itself, there's no other movie.
Right, just it.
Or they maybe, just it. Yeah. Not even Empire Returns.
Well, it's a complete story. It's the one of the Star Wars series.
Yeah, I mean, they leave things open. Vader spins away and he might come back. But the Empire's defeated, as far as you know, and the rebellion, they all get medals, except for Chewbacca.
Well, when I first saw, I didn't even know if Darth Vader was a human. Frankly, I mean, like when I was a little kid and saw it with no context, no anything.
Box on. And...
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it, and if I remember, gosh, I might not even be remembering this right. I thought there was a scene where like a stormtrooper. Well, you see Luke pull his helmet off, so you can infer that the stormtroopers are humans. Where
underneath the
yes, but like Vader was so different and so unique.
He could have been a robot.
Yeah, I didn't know,
Yeah.
and I thought maybe he's an alien, or maybe he's a robot, or who knows what he is.
Yeah.
And I remember being like really confused as a kid. I remember like whispering to my dad kind of shushing me and just saying, just watch it.
So when Obi-Wan says Vader killed your dad and all that, you're just like,
yeah, right? I mean, it all adds up. This vicious robot. I didn't know, like, the stormtroopers were wearing white, and to me that was like, as a kid, I was like, well, are they good? Are they,
Well, it's like that, was it Minor Threat song or something? Sometimes guys don't wear white.
Yeah. And then I don't know, a lot of it was just very confusing. So it was a weird kind of thing out of the blue, and a lot of the story now makes more sense.
So when I see the movie, and like I said, I treat it like its own thing. It's like when I watch Star Wars, it's like the way I watch an old Kubrick film, or the way I watch like the original Willy Wonka movie. Like, it's a movie from the 70s.
Yep.
I treat it like a movie from the 70s. It has moments of greatness. It has moments that like are ageless, but overall the movie is dated as fuck. And like, and I know what when the special edition came out, they released the special editions.
Yeah.
The plan was, and they knew this too, that when they were going to do the prequels and they were going to do all this crazy shit, that it was going to be. They knew they had to go back and tinker with these movies. One, to get them in the theater, and to if you promise people more footage, you'll get more people to go see it. It's a whole. They made more toys. They made toys of every scene they basically released.
Yeah.
I remember this. They released, like, they made the Jabba toy that was specific to the Jabba scene.
Yeah.
And, it's just so the movies didn't feel so dated. But I look at it now and I'm just like, I just feel like the special edition scenes make the movie. And those CGI effects need to be, like, updated too.
The special edition stuff makes it even more glaring that they're not.
They wanted to make them grander. Like, I do like the scene with the dewbacks, those little. I know all these things are just toys. In the original, the Stormtrooper, it was just like a big thing, like a big statue that thing was sitting on, and maybe like had limited movement. And then the CGI ones, they're cool looking, but you look at it now and you're like, I'm watching it and I'm like, well, they made this in like over 20 years ago. So this shit's the CGI is so dated. It's from 1997. That's when the movies came out.
When did Wizards come out? Was Wizards before?
Wizards.
Remember that Ralph
Bakshi?
Yeah.
Like late 70s, early 80s, maybe.
Oh, that was after Star Wars, you think?
I don't know. Maybe early 80s. I don't know.
Because there's some overlap between those two films with those desert scenes and the creatures and the rifles, the long rifles.
Well,
I know Wizards was like kind of a World War.
Have you seen? I think we talked about this. The documentary about Dune, Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yes, we have.
Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, and that was we talked
about
Russian Doll, because that was the password to get into the
right. Well,
club.
One of the funny things about that movie, that documentary, he talks about, they made a book that they gave studios that had scenes from and like elements that they created. He had like top artists work on this, and he said that like when he saw Star Wars in the theater, he's like, that shit's like, the studio didn't make Dune, but the studio had the book, and they were just like using it as like a style guide almost. Yeah. They're like, just take that and we'll just like change that a little bit. And he's like, all those fucking elements were, because you understand, when he wanted to make that was like 1975, 74.
Right,
so
it all
that
fits.
was all around that time period. And then all of a sudden, you got 2-3 years later, Star Wars comes out, and he's just like, what the fuck? And who knows, maybe Wizards, they probably got the same, the studio that made it might have gotten the same book. And they took elements. I mean, again, some of these things are just like, you ever see like old sci-fi covers? Like I've seen like, and you see something that kind of looks like a Star Destroyer, and you're just like, oh, it like blows my mind. I always thought like, I mean, I always thought it was like the most original thing created, but then you see like old sci-fi books from like the 60s and 70s.
Right.
And you can find them, like people will post them on like Instagram and like,
Harlan Ellison books.
You can find them and you're just like, holy shit, that kind of looks like Star Wars ships.
Yeah.
I always feel like the Millennium Falcon's like one of the most unique ships
I think so.
I'm like curious if that's like a bite from somebody's like sci-fi book.
Yeah. Well, look, you're right, because like the Millennium Falcon is super original. You know, I mean, it's
just the way it looks.
Yeah, it's so like bizarre. Asymmetrical.
It looks like a catcher's mitt. It's really strange.
Yeah. That is the
like
start
from even from like a navigation thing. Like, is that you got like the little thing on the side?
Yeah.
And you have these two giant things on the left of it.
Right.
Is that like? I mean, I know it probably has like radars and all that
stuff.
You would think something that you have this massive blind spot on your side.
Well, and it's called like a freighter, but it seems real small. Like, I mean, I know they're carrying like unusual freight, like spice and stuff, but like
spices,
just
so they could just forget about it and make mayo,
space mayo, blue milk.
We conquered the galaxy. What are we gonna do? Well, fuck it. Let's just make some boiled potatoes and mayo.
Well, I don't know. Okay, so. I don't even. There's so much to.
I mean, I just like this is like so stupid. You're like, you know, we should just be like, oh, I'm fawning over this fucking movie as if it's like, and it again, it's I treat it as like its own thing, but they keep making crap. They keep making movies. They got Rise of the Skywalker or whatever coming out, and then you're gonna have like some other, you know, Mandalorian and all this stuff. It's never gonna end. There's always gonna be some kind of Star Wars thing. So this movie exists, and this is the beginning. This is
patient zero.
And I'm like, but it's like if you want to get kids into movies, I'm sorry, not every. Yeah, there might be that cool kid that's like, yeah, I understand. I understand cinema from the 70s. I dig it, Daddy-O. Get the fuck out of here. Kid's gonna be like, I just watched like Avengers Endgame. You want me to watch this shit?
Yeah, because your son loves genre fiction, and he sits through some pretty.
Well, in the theater, I can get him watch. Getting him watch at home is a different story. He's a different kind of animal. I'm just talking about kids in general.
Yeah.
I just think that. Like, I would have such a hard time if somebody said, like, what Star Wars movie do you want to watch? And I know some people who just can't see outside themselves. They'd just be like, Star Wars, man.
Start with
of course,
four.
You just watch with that one. Why wouldn't you watch that one? I'd be like, well, would it? I mean, like, I
well,
mean...
I told you I tried to get my daughter to watch Star Wars: A New Hope.
Well, she's a girl, though. Girls don't
She's a girl.
They don't like sci-fi. They like ponies.
Yeah. Maybe she was just like, there are no recognizable kids. They're all men, Dad. I don't know what I'm watching.
Yeah. Where's my female role models? This is all cisgender.
Yeah. I will say it's funny because we saw Shazam with her and
Captain Marvel.
Yep, and Captain Marvel. And they're both great kind of fun movies.
Yeah.
She liked Captain Marvel much more, and she didn't say anything, and I don't think I'm reading too much into it, but I do think she liked the female aspect of it. Maybe that's just me reading into it.
I think you're reading into it.
I don't, it could be. It
could be because there was a cat in the movie.
Oh, she did like the cat a lot.
Yeah, the cat was the best part of the movie.
Right. And we have a cat that looks like that cat, so...
I got an idea.
Yeah.
When Captain Marvel becomes more available to see, be like, hey, you want to watch it? See what her reaction is.
Yeah, if she would watch it
again. She goes, oh my God, Dad, I was waiting for you to ask me.
Yeah.
Or she's like, but I have a feeling the answer is going to be more like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to my iPad. That's what my son does. He's like, we see these things in the theater, and I'm like, hey, son, you want to sit here and watch this with Dad?
Right.
No, I'm good. I'm going to go over here.
There's a 9-year-old talking about nonsense on YouTube for 7 hours. I think I'll watch that instead.
Yeah, as opposed to me. I need to watch a middle-aged person complain about Star Wars for an hour.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
I mean, I would have no problem with them going back and redoing these fucking movies. Again, I would have no problem if they just made these films CGI and don't try to make them too photoreal so people don't freak the fuck out. And
the Uncanny Valley stuff.
Just making like a Pixar fucking movie.
Oh.
Make Pixar the whole entire Star Wars universe.
Well,
I would be fine with that.
I mean, I could see them eventually doing that.
I would be like... I mean, it's going to get to the point where they're going to be able to just do CGI Uncanny in the Uncanny Valley, and you'll be like, what about Star Wars, like, freaking the robots. So Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how amazing that looked.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly,
I'd be fine with that.
I mean, could it be better? I'm sure, but like, I mean, that was
again,
really good.
We just saw this early this year.
Mm-hmm.
If this ever happens, which it probably never will, but if it does, we're talking like 10 years from now.
Yeah,
this probably will happen. It's going to look really good in 10 years.
Yeah, and I'll bet you they can crank it out quicker and cheaper and faster, and I'll bet you they get good at the technology and efficiency of it.
I just think I would have no problem. I think why not? And again, don't fuck with. I mean, maybe you could do some weird little tinkerings to the script that we don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Subtle things, but don't come in and introduce a new character. Like,
well,
we always wanted to have. Like, you can have, like, you want to make, like, let's say you can make the rebellion more diverse or something like that, or you want to have more women.
Of course, yeah.
Like, you just have them in the background. Like, instead of just all being a bunch of dudes in it, you have it in the background. But don't, like I was, like, seeing those, like, hideous, like, remakes that Disney does, and we saw, like, Aladdin.
Oh, yeah,
and, like, and the Aladdin one didn't bother the one with Will Smith. That one was okay. They introduced this new character who was like her. There was this woman who was like Jasmine's friend.
Oh, okay.
And it's fine. But again, I don't give a fuck. I like Aladdin, but I don't like hold it in such a regard.
It's different.
Oh my god! How dare you? This changes everything I know about Aladdin. You introduced this woman. What is? But they made a new character. I would hope they don't do anything stupid like that, where they would Leia has a sidekick that's really annoying, or like
a plucky sidekick.
They get these compulsions to like. It's like you don't have to do any of that. You can make Mos Eisley look more interesting.
Yeah.
You can make the cantina look amazing. You can do all this shit, and this just it's almost like you just like you don't change shit.
Yeah.
You let the dialogue and the audio play out. You just tinker with the sound a bit to add to the effects. And you make the movie exactly the same amount of time.
But
you don't make it longer or shorter.
Don't you think that they would have to, like, let's say they're like, okay, we're going to redo Star Wars. Don't you think someone would come in there and say, look, you're going to have to address the midichlorian issue.
No.
And you're going to have to address Vader not recognizing Leia.
No, that's fine. Because then you can explain. No, you don't. I'm fine with them
not explaining that.
Any of that. Leave it a mystery. You just remake the movie. Yeah, you don't. Well, remember here's the thing actually, and they don't really explain it. Vader doesn't know he has kids. One, he doesn't even know he has a daughter. He only finds out about his son. Yeah. He didn't even know who Luke was. He thought his kids were dead. He finds out. So it's not until shortly before Empire Strikes Back that Vader actually finds out that he has a kid.
Right.
That's why he's like, because I think Star Wars and Empire are like, there's a 3-year gap between, not just the movie itself, but the time. It is like, it's been stated. I've read timelines. They haven't changed it.
Well,
it's
don't they even kind of mention that in the in Empire when they talk? When what?
The crawl? You mean like the what they call it?
They might. I was thinking more like you find out that Han Solo has become a general, and don't you? Isn't that where you find that out?
No.
What is he? He's not anything.
I don't know. Look out these crawls. We'll we'll worry about that when we get to Empire. But regardless, there is a amount of time that passes. But when Vader, like I said, tonally it makes no sense. Vader's like very ignorant to things. Mm-hmm. The fact that he sees the droids and he has like no memory of them.
Yeah,
that's like another stupid thing with the prequels. But I guess if you're
well, we've seen at least 2 C-3POs, right? Like,
yeah.
So
I mean.
And there were other R2 units. I mean, like
20 years has passed. It's like funny when people. We'll talk about this when we get to Last Jedi. There's all these people complained about Luke.
Yeah.
And they were like, "That's not Luke." I know. I'm like, well, you do realize over 30 years has passed in the movie.
Right.
People
change.
They, especially if things don't go away. Like,
right.
It's like, let's say in real life something happens and you fail, and then somebody's like homeless now 10 years later. And you see them and you start talking to them, you're like, I don't get it. This guy lives on the streets now.
Yeah.
He's on drugs.
It's implausible.
I don't understand why he's not the way I used to know him when he had a house and kids and he was living normal and we're...
Right, yeah.
Now he's talking to himself. This is ridiculous. This doesn't meet my... Who are the writers of this?
Yeah,
I always thought that was like the dumbest complaint. I'm like, why would he be the same?
Yeah. Well, especially after what's happened, because like he's had these devastating events happen.
Yeah, like I always thought that was like the stupidest. Like, I mean, I could go into other complaints, and we'll get to that movie at some point. But I always thought that was one of the dumbest complaints. I'm like, I want characters to change. I mean, yeah, I guess they just didn't like the way they changed them. I'm like,
sure. I don't know. I mean, like, I guess, you know.
But, like, I could see how Vader, there's so many fucking droids, and this guy's, like, doing so much shit. He's so busy.
His head's elsewhere.
He's just, like, these fucking robots are everywhere.
Well, I mean, you would imagine that there are, like, tons of them. I mean, we know, like,
He's been on, like, thousands of missions. It'd be like actors if you asked, like, Robert De Niro, like, hey, do you remember the guy who got you coffee?
Right, yeah.
Like, Raging Bull? He'd be like, I mean, maybe he would. I don't know. But the chances are he'd probably be like, what?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Well, it is a weird movie in that sense. And
it's like people, when they watch these movies, it's like we're the audience. We're seeing these things, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we're only seeing a small part of this fictional thing. I mean, they don't exist after or in between.
Yeah.
Except for my imagination.
Well, we hadn't really talked about that yet, but there was a lot of imagination that came with this, right? Like the Star Wars.
Well, the movie is the original one is so, like, it is such a simple story, but it leaves so much open, like you said, with, like, throwaway dialogue, like Clone Wars and all that, and, like, you're just being told, you only see one lightsaber scene, you just see, like, or, like, if you count Luke fighting a bull.
Sure.
you just get little vignettes, you only get a little bit, but it's like you wanted more.
Yeah.
So, by wanting more, you create your own, and you expand on it. And that's where the fan films come from, and, it's like, the big complaint now is people are saying, like, oh, these movies new ones have no imagination, so that's not going to inspire new fans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's true, but I think at the same time, the problem is everything's being made by fans now. Like, in theater, like, when I saw Rogue One, the thing I said in my mind when I saw it in the theater was, I'm like, this reminds me of a fan film.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. The people making Star Wars stuff now don't remember a time from before Star Wars, do
right?
They? Yeah,
no, I mean, they're not like they're having an 80-year-old director. They're like people who are like, what's J.J. Abrams, like in his 50s, maybe?
Yeah,
he grew up with Star Wars.
Yeah,
he knows what it is. It's like he doesn't. It's like you said, your memory. It's like his memory for Star Wars isn't like.
Well,
I'm sure he's done a lot of research and stuff, but
I don't know. I mean, I think too. Like, if you had, I know you've told me this before, if you had asked me before you and I started talking about this, did the opening crawl of Star Wars A New Hope have Episode 4 written on it? I would have sworn it did. I'm
gonna look it up.
Yeah, all right.
I'm gonna pause it. Okay, so yes, when the movie originally came out, it just said Star Wars. It wasn't until 1981, a year after Empire Strikes Back came out, where it said Episode 5. That episode, re-release of Star Wars said Episode 4.
Gotcha. Yeah, and
so people probably were like going to see Star Wars 2. In their mind, it was called, even though it was called Empire Strikes Back, it was called Star Wars 2. There might have been like a teaser poster, but it was never sold as Star Wars 2.
Yeah.
And they probably were like, what the fuck is this? Where it said Episode 5 in the crawl.
Well, it's funny because I remember, and again, like, my memory on this is a little fuzzy, and it's funny because, like, I'm not convinced that the internet is always, like, 100% accurate with
your fuzzy memory.
Well, with like the way stuff happened, because, like, I remember early on, before Empire Strikes Back came out, hearing that this was supposed to be a 9-movie deal, and
that was the plan. So
right, and I think that was in like Wow magazine or Dynamite magazine or like a kids magazine.
I used to subscribe to Bantha Tracks.
Oh yeah, okay,
remember
right.
That?
Yeah.
I used to get that newsletter when I was a kid.
That's funny. Yeah,
I love the Banthas. That was always like one of my favorite things. They were just like, would they use like elephants and just threw like woolly cloths on them?
I don't know what they actually used.
I think it was elephants.
They're the ones that the sand people wrote. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's funny. I hadn't heard that in a million years. But yeah, there's all these sort of like, not official, but there are going to be 9 movies, and one of them, I remember one was going to take place on the Wookiee planet. Like they swore that a whole
that was the third movie. Return of the Jedi was always supposed to be on a Wookiee, and they just decided to fucking.
But there's a huge, and then we talked in a previous episode about how I'd read Splinter of the Mind's Eye, that Alan Dean Foster book. That was supposed to be.
That was the backup sequel. So like they were going to make a sequel no matter what, probably.
Right.
But if it made just like a modest amount of money, it would have been an even lower budget film.
Well, you said it was going to be a TV.
No, it was going to be in a theater. It just would have been a low budget film where they wouldn't even. Where Harrison Ford's not even in it.
Yes.
All they could afford is Luke and Leia.
Yep.
And like. There's like no spaceships or something like that. There's no spaceship battles, and it's just like a low budget film.
If I remember right, and it's been a while since I read it, Luke and Leia are going together to a planet to retrieve a crystal that's supposed to help you focus the Force, and Vader is on the planet tracking them.
Yeah,
and it's basically like a Predator, but with Vader as the Predator or something.
And Vader, like, Luke and Vader fight, and like he cuts off Vader's arm.
Yeah, always with the severed limbs.
I know, what's up with that?
Well, like, maybe we didn't talk about it, but like I mentioned it. Okay, so Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, you got the severed limb in the cantina.
Ponda Baba.
Right.
Or Walrus Man.
Yes. And then...
Ryan's called Ass Face.
In Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, you have the creature in the ice cave, the Wampa, gets his limb severed
by Luke,
and then
you see it better. That I will say, that special edition, to me, that's one of the best parts because they didn't do a CGI monster; they did do practical, and they just made him look awesome.
Yeah,
that was like seamless. It worked, and they didn't like. If they made that CG, it would look like shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. And then Luke gets his hand cut off.
Yeah, then Luke gets his hand cut off. And then Return of the Jedi, I think it's just Vader gets his hand cut off.
Right.
Vader gets... It's kind of like just a little nod to like, oh yeah, like when he cuts his hand off and he sees how Vader already had his hand cut off. So it was like, he was already down that path.
And then Vader says, I've got to hand it to you, son.
Yeah, he's like, hands up.
Right.
And when he said... I don't know. He's like, revenge is a sweet. I don't know. He didn't say that. No, but Luke. That's when Luke realized, there was all these theories when like Episode 7 was coming out. Everyone thought that like Luke was evil. Actually, that you're gonna find Luke because like in the end of Return, he actually did become a dark. He did become a dark side Jedi in the end. You don't realize it, but he did. Like when he loses it and cuts off Vader's hand, he is already immersed as a Sith Lord at that point. He is down the path of Sith, but he doesn't because it ended up being bullshit because none of that happened.
Yeah,
it's just that he sees his father's wrist and it's like
robotic.
It's just robotic, and he's just looking at himself, and he looks at his hand,
right,
and he's just like,
with the same.
I'm going to keep going down this path. I'm going to be in a suit like that. Unless you count Dooku, who gets to be cool.
Yeah,
you get lightning. You get to be an evil Sith Lord. And you get to look like a dapper old gentleman, a nice looking gentleman.
Right.
Best character. Why the prequels sucked? Because they didn't do anything with him.
If he had lived, he'd have been on like Dancing with the Stars, like or something.
Yeah, with Sean Spicer and that former general. Like,
oh yeah.
This separatist leader, he really did a really good tango though.
Yeah, right.
He comes out and he's got like the fucking that Sean Spicer outfit.
I'll tell you, he would have been amazing on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, he would have.
He would have.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Well. Yeah. So,
or would it be called like Dancing with the Star Wars?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, even though they don't ever refer to it, no one ever says Star Wars and Star Wars.
Right.
Damn these Star Wars.
Well, there was though a piece of what we thought was at the time canon that came out after Star Wars, before Empire.
You talking about the holiday Christmas
special? And I did see that on television.
I did not know. I didn't see, I'm younger than you. That was only aired once. I think in like 79 or 78.
Probably, yeah.
And it was hot garbage, and it was never aired again. Lucas like hides it. I found out. I didn't know what the fuck it was until I picked up in like 1995 or 96. Topps came out with a card series.
That's funny.
Of Star Wars. It was like an artist series, and I'm like, I got these cards,
right?
And I'm like, what the fuck is Lumpy and Mala and Itchy?
Life Day. What is that?
No, they just showed like designs for Wookiees, and I'm like, the fuck is this? And that's when I found out about the Star Wars Christmas special. For years I wanted to see it. Then one of my friends got a bootleg, because it's one of those things you could get it now. You can find it online. I mean, I had a shitty bootleg for years, and they have a really good copy on YouTube. You could see it, and it is one of the worst fucking things.
It's terrible.
It is such a piece of shit. But it's funny. John Favreau came out the other day and said he wants to make a Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, well.
But I think his would not be that.
Right. I'll tell you, I had trash taste as a kid. Obviously I love Star Wars.
You probably just wanted new Star Wars content.
That was it.
And that's the reason they had, they showed footage of, this footage of Vader and stuff like that, but it's stuff that didn't make it into the movie, so they just used it and they sold it to the audience. It's like, look, we got new footage of Star Wars, but it was just shit that they didn't put in.
Yeah. I remember around that time, I don't know if you remember these, but they had a Battle of the Network Stars. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That show? They did one with superheroes, the Justice League, basically.
Oh,
where you had
God,
Hawkman and Green Lantern and shit like that. Look, this was before live action superhero things.
This is what we had.
This is what we had.
It wasn't until the early 80s, growing up, the only Marvel action figures until the 90s was the Secret Wars toys.
Yeah,
there were some shitty Mego toys.
Okay.
But those were the first real people don't even understand how much access people have to things now. Yeah. So that's another reason why I think Star Wars is when they talk about how great it was, but it's at the same time it's that's all it was.
Yeah.
What the fuck else was there that was on that level?
Well, when
prestige.
And that's why when they came out with Battle of the Network Stars DC Superheroes Edition, it was hot garbage. If you look at it today, it's laughably bad. I loved it. I loved it as a kid.
But it was the closest. You got Hawkman.
That was it. I saw a human being in Green Lantern's costume.
Yeah, it's a shitty version of it, but it's the closest thing. Yeah, it's when we were younger and the first Batman movie came out.
Yeah,
and then there would be a desert until Batman Returns came out. 2 or 3 years later. You had to wait 3 years. There was nothing in between that.
And that was it. It wasn't look, you could go, there's some months over the last few years where you could go in and see 3 or 4 great properties, from comics or, established science fiction series or whatnot. So when the Star Wars Christmas special came out, look, yes, it is hot garbage. I didn't remember it that way as a kid. I was like,
you were just excited.
Yeah, I was so happy.
They contractually got them in the movie, and then Carrie Fisher does that horrendous
musical number.
You can tell she was on all the drugs.
Yes,
she was on all the drugs.
That's where the opium,
that's what she got. Yeah, the Star Wars special is what got her hooked.
Yeah, so I love
she sings the Life Day song. He's got a whole room full of Wookiees wearing red, weird red senatorial robes. It is the most fucking bizarre thing ever made.
It's bad. I knew it was bad as a kid, but I was happy to have it.
The thing is, it's the parts that have them in it, and the parts there's some elements. It's cheesy.
Yep.
But what makes it really bad is okay, well, we're gonna do the first 30 minutes of it is Chewbacca's family.
Yeah.
Chewbacca's not even it. It was gross old man where he puts on this thing where he's gonna jack off to that singer. I forgot. She's a famous soul singer or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And which was funny because I was straight out of what's that called? THX 139.
Oh yeah. Lucas's student film or something.
Yeah, that. I can't find it. I bought the DVD years ago. He did around the time when episode 3 came out. He did a special edition of that. I remember this, that actually looked really good, the special edition.
I could see that because that was a slick movie.
Yeah, so the special edition with they they added like a shit ton of special effects. Huh. I haven't seen it like since
I would like to see that again.
But there's a contraption that he goes in, and it's like kind of like almost like a jerk off machine.
Okay.
Like where it's kind of what it is. It's literally like a scene where like, and who is it? It's like a famous actor in it. So yeah, it's Robert Duvall. The movie came out in 1971. It's got Donald Pleasance. It's like a dystopian, almost like a 1984, like Lucas' version of 1984. But there's a contraption, and he goes in, like I said, like in between, and it's like, and it's literally just like his masturbatorium. And they imply it, and then like in the Star Wars Christmas special, Itchy, Chewbacca's dad, maybe the Grandpa Simpson of the Wookiee family, goes in a machine, and it's literally the same thing as THX 11 or what the fuck it's called.
1138, is that it?
1138,
I thought there was a lot of... I saw THX 1138 maybe once. I think I saw it on Night Flight. Remember when Night Flight used to rerun whole movies?
You're talking about Rhonda Shear? USA Up All Night?
It was on USA. It was...
Gilbert Gottfried?
Yeah, right.
I don't think they played THX 1138. At least the one when I watched it.
Well, I saw... remember the movie Fantastic Planet? The animated film... It's like a French animated film or Polish animated film.
Maybe.
It's a cartoon. They're on a planet. It's a weird one. Okay. But anyway, it may not have been Night Flight, the show, but on USA or TNT, one of those old... They used to show these movies. And I saw it on TV once.
Okay, yeah. Rhonda Shear did not host that.
No. It was... They just showed a movie. And it was really good. It reminded me, like... Obviously, Logan's Run came out after, but it had like a Logan's Run vibe to it. I don't know. Anyway,
so you get all of these things. So the first 30 minutes is just, it's all in Wookiee. And you got like Chewbacca's son Lumpy, which is like a weird, most bizarre. I had a band years ago, and one of our songs was about Lumpy.
Oh, okay. It's
one of our favorite songs we ever did.
Right.
And it was called Chewbacca's Bastard Son.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because you don't meet...
you don't ever...
Right.
It was just in a Star Wars Christmas special, and it was never to be seen. As far as we know, Chewbacca has no family. Chewbacca doesn't have a kid named Lumpy.
Right.
It's been acknowledged in books. It's been acknowledged. It has been in some things, but never... Lucas will never allow...
Well, yeah, and Lucas quickly disavowed.
It's amazing. You know, people always give him shit for, like... Oh, you made those prequels, and you think that... I'm like, dude, the Christmas special's garbage. I mean,
it is.
First of all, then you also have, like, Harvey Korman, and then Art Carney from Honeymooners.
Yeah.
B. Arthur. They recreate the cantina scene. They get all the aliens, and then B. Arthur starts singing.
Yeah.
And then Harvey Korman shows up again as some other alien. I mean, it's so dumb. And then, the Itchy goes in that machine from THX 138, and he's like, he starts getting all like hot for like this video of this woman who's singing, and then she's like, it's porn. I mean, we're like, what the fuck are we watching?
It's very bizarre.
We're watching porn, and then all of a sudden, like another scene where Lumpy is watching some hologram of like this circus, and it goes on for like 20 minutes, and then Jefferson Starship shows up.
I don't remember that.
And I think it's Jefferson Starship. It's like one of these bands, Brothers. I don't know what the fuck, some 70s shit, and some fucking crowd, whatever. Right. And they're just them playing, and it's in microphones, and their microphones are like lightsabers, but just looks like glowing dildos. Like they're just singing at the glowing dildos. It's the stupidest. It is like a 70s variety show garbage.
It's a variety show.
And if they just made a special, it could have been like okay.
Yeah.
But it's like it's 2 hours long. It is way too fucking long.
Well, it's weird. I remember when that came out. I remember thinking, like, is this the sequel? Like, is this... Because it was very Wookiee-centric, and I want to say that at the time I
heard... Kashyyyk.
Yeah, I heard, like...
They just used old Ralph McQuarrie paintings as backgrounds, and they just looked like sketches, and it looked like final paintings.
Well, I went to the mall, because I was so into Star Wars. It was, like, a very, very big part of my life. And because Darth Vader was going to appear at the mall, like a guy in a Darth Vader costume.
Was it a good costume?
It was an amazing costume.
Okay,
I mean, I would have sworn to you it was not the costume,
right.
but like at the time I would have sworn to you. And he showed up with a Jawa, and I was like, this is so weird because like Darth Vader and Jawas don't hang, you know, like
what the fuck is this shit?
Right, I would have thought that it'd be like a stormtrooper or 2 stormtroopers or something.
A Jawa.
It was Darth Vader and a Jawa, and that's probably, and both costumes were amazing. The Jawa had like eyes that kind of lit up and everything, and I remember it being like really good, but also being like, this is completely taking the magic out of it because Darth Vader's at a food court.
You're in a mall. Yeah, you're in a food court already.
And the mall was packed with people.
Darth Vader, aren't you busy?
Right.
Well, in between battling the rebellion, I like to show up at the Shoneyville Mall and Topeka, Florida.
Well, no, he didn't speak. That was the other big thing that kind of like devastated me. Is like
because they don't have James L. Jones.
It's broad daylight, and he's at like the hot dog on a stick stand, and B, he brought a Jawa and not like a natural looking sidekick. And C, he didn't speak because like it was.
Did Jawa speak?
No, neither of them spoke because it was such a good costume. It legitimately was a good costume. I don't think.
Is it like time travel? And it's like the worst, shittiest costume. It's like
nobody was there explaining what was going on. He just showed up and like I don't remember if people. I didn't get an autograph, but I don't know if that was the deal or whatever. But maybe
I remember going to Movie Land in 19. It's when they first were releasing them on VHS.
Ooh.
So I think they finally came out on VHS in like 87. And I remember going to Movie Land, and it was like a big rental place.
Yeah.
And pre-Blockbuster. And they had different locations. And I remember going to it, and Darth Vader was there.
Right.
And it was like awesome. And so I was a kid, and like he came in, he was big, walking in, and signing autographs. And
right.
It was a legit costume. It wasn't like some... I remember when I worked for this licensing company, and we got Star Wars, and we were doing like some party, and I said like, yeah, you should try to get like some people.
Get a Vader, yeah.
Get a Vader, get a Chewbacca. And like, they're like, yeah, we got some people coming. And I'm like, and they showed up, and it was garbage.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we have the license.
Right.
This looks bad. You should have sent these people home.
I've seen some where they come and like...
You ever see the, like, those YouTube videos of, like, parties, and, like, they would show, like... I'm not going to say...
Right.
But, like, it would be, like, Spider-Man, like, doing trap dancing.
Yeah.
Like, that looked better than this. This was, like, so bad. Like, I can't even, like... I'm like, we're a licensing company. We got the license. We're having this party. And they're, like... And I remember seeing them, like... This is bullshit.
The tip
Did they go to, like, Party
always,
City before this? Like,
it's always the shoes, because you can put together a decent Vader outfit. You know, if you get a helmet and this, but then like you wear like black Reeboks or something, and you know, and you're like, wait a minute.
We always say like I was like there's like a group. I forgot what they're called. They're like something. They do charity.
Oh yeah, they're like the 551st or
and those
whatever.
people like they got like legit costumes. If you tell them it's for a good cause or whatever, they'll show up and. It looks legit.
Yeah, and some of them are like battle damaged. And they're the real deal. Yeah.
So, okay, so back to Star Wars.
Back
to the actual movie Star Wars. Yeah. So let's say, we'll just go by the plot. You know?
Sure.
I want to like look at it from like the original versus the special edition.
Yeah,
so, like one of the scenes that like really just, and again, it's like when I saw the special edition, they told me there was gonna be new footage and there was a scene with Jabba, and I always saw clips of the original scene with like the actor.
Yes.
And I never actually watched it. It was always like very choppy footage of like the fat dude.
Oh yeah.
And they cut it out of the movie.
Right.
But like yeah, we're gonna put that in. We're gonna do this, and so you meet Han Solo. They do the Greedo thing. Or the original thing is what he shot him first.
Absolutely.
And then the special edition Greedo shot him first, right? And everybody lost their shit. And I remember like Lucas like wore a shirt while it was like they were making episode 3. It said Han shot first.
Oh Jesus!
It's like so funny because I'm like, yeah, I'm on your side, guys. I'm like, I don't want to make this movie. He's just like fucking with people. It's like
it wasn't important. Yeah, well, it did establish Han Solo as someone you couldn't trust, as someone who shot a guy for trying to collect a debt that Han Solo reneged on for committing a crime. And it was
it's a bad deed for a bad deed. It's not he didn't shoot Greedo. It wasn't heroic in any way.
Right.
And it was a good way to establish that this guy that Luke just met, and Obi-Wan introduced him to, this might not be a guy that they could trust.
Exactly.
Even though, at the end of the day, he's fine.
Look, he turned out fine. He was a lovable rapscallion.
Yep.
And
but he thought he wasn't gonna help out in the battle.
Right.
He shows up in the end.
Well, he did. Yeah, but it did. Because he shot first in the cantina. Later on in the film, when he's like, "I'm taking my money and getting out of here,"
it made sense with the.
It made sense
with the character. They're like, "Yeah, he's still not and Leia thought he was a piece of shit."
Right.
I could change him.
Yes.
I could change him.
No one loves you like I love you. But it did set up. It was very logical and it made sense. Now, did Greedo shooting first destroy that? I mean,
what's funny is the version. So the most current version of it that is left off is they both shot each other at the same time.
Yes. Okay. Then that's pretty much the version I saw on TNT.
Yeah. I don't care. I didn't give a shit when I saw it in the theater. Everyone, I knew people lost their shit. I didn't care. I was like, whatever. It looked it looked fake. The laser command. I mean, it is fake, but it did. It looked like they altered it, and not good. So they should have left them alone if they weren't going to do it right, because it doesn't look good.
Right.
So then, while Luke and them are getting ready to go on the ship, or I don't know, they're doing their stuff. There's a scene that was cut out of the movie originally because he just got that ordeal with Jabba, and you know who Jabba's name is. And you watch the scene, and they made a big deal about it when the prequels, because one, they were going to use CGI. CGI was only used very little bit. You only saw it in the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. It was still new ground, so any new moments of CGI was ooh, even though the original Jabba looked like shit. And the new one doesn't even look that great either. But
it's fine.
It's episode 1-1. It's fine. But it's not even... My issue with Jabba in that scene is... One, it ruins Return of the Jedi because it ruins the mystique of Jabba.
Yes, you finally
got to see Jabba, and he's this big monster,
right,
with this booming voice, and he's got all those little Muppets around him, his minions, and then instead he's just this kind of big slug. He seems bigger in Return of the Jedi.
I just figured he got bigger.
Yeah, I mean,
like Brando.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
it's he's not even that threatening. When it's the original guy and he's like, "Listen, you owe me money. I know you're my boy and I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
You're my bookie," or whatever the fuck he says.
But Han even steps on his tail.
Yeah, the reason why they did that is because he walks behind the actor and they know what to do. So they're like, "Yeah, just have Han step on him." And I'm just like, man, this guy's got balls, because it's not like he's by himself. He's got Boba Fett there.
Right, that's
you remember
the
when they added Boba Fett into it? You don't...
Oh, yeah, I remember them adding
a special edition.
Yeah, but why did they just...
Just so they could have more Boba Fett. That was it. It was because they knew in the 90s that Boba Fett was so popular back then. People were obsessed with Boba Fett shit. Anything Boba Fett was sold out immediately. I remember when they released the Boba Fett figure, the first one in years... you couldn't find that for a while. And to just have Boba Fett in that scene, even though he does nothing, but to me it's it takes away from Empire.
Well,
it's he's just some dude, and he kind of looks at the screen he's kind of
right, breaks the fourth wall.
It'd be funny. He's like, "That's funny. I didn't know she was Jewish."
Right. Well, you're right. Just showing Jabba, Rex Jabba in Empire.
Well, it's not even that. It's just tonally. He's not really that threatening. He's just "Oh, Han, you owe me money. I'll get you money. Okay, but 15% more.
Right.
Yeah. Or I'll come get you,
well, he's
little cheeky
20,
monkey."
And he's no, not a penny more than 15. And they have... It is weird, because it's Jabba in... I meant to say he later shows on in Return of the Jedi. But, he should be this big, intimidating, most feared crime lord.
He's like a fat.
He's like a
fat
Jackie
slut.
Gleason character or something. I mean,
Because again, if you watch the original scene with the actor, who I
yeah.
said shows up in Time Bandits in like literally the same outfit,
Nice.
it's it was just like a scene they cut out, and you watch and you're like, oh, there's probably a reason why it cuts out. One, it kind of screws up the flow, and it doesn't really add anything to it.
No.
It's like you got everything you need to know from the scene with Greedo. And
by
him shooting Greedo, it shows that he's trying to escape from his debts.
Right.
He's a man on the run.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got it adds more to his character. So Greedo delivers. You get to learn by just seeing Greedo, who's a crazy looking alien.
Yep.
And he's talking about this Jabba guy, and I like Greedo's voice. It's like
yeah.
And he's talking about how Jabba. You get the idea. Jabba's a badass,
right?
And
well, that's another example of another great thing Star Wars: A New Hope did, where they allude to something. They don't show it, but it tells you all the story you need to know. Jabba the Hutt is a crime lord, and he's sending people out.
You don't know what he is. In the Marvel comics, he was just like some kind of looked like Walrus Man a little bit. They actually had Jabba in like some of the early issues
and
between Star Wars and
not
Walrus Man, but he looked kind of like that. It was between Star Wars and Empire. They would have Jabba in some of the issues because they didn't know what to do. Marvel was just like,
wing it, X-wing it,
So. Yeah, there's a whole the Marvel comic series is funny. Like, the first 6 issues is an actual adaptation of the series.
Okay, right.
But then, they had to make that while they were making the movie, but then, like, they're still going to make the comic, so they make all these issues, but they had no guidance, and, like, Lucas had no involvement. So, like, the writers it was just Han and... Because they couldn't do anything with the characters. I guess they were allowed to do stuff with Han and Chewie. Okay. So they just had Han and Chewie do like weird, bizarre stories, and like there was this Green Rabbit character.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And it wasn't until like issue like 13 or something, like where Lucas gets more involved, starts reining in the series, and that's when Vader, all the characters start showing back up again.
Yeah. All right, that's funny. I remember buying a few issues of that, but when I was a kid, I was pretty. If I couldn't buy all the issues, I wouldn't read them. Like, if I missed an issue or two, I gave up on the book. Yeah. And I think Star Wars was like that for me.
I just, so then they get on the ship and they escape. Mm-hmm. And they're just hanging out in the Millennium Falcon. Yep. Everyone's teaching Luke how to use a ball.
C-3PO's
teaching how to use his balls. Oh, Luke.
Yeah.
Grab your lightsaber.
Yeah.
Right. This ball.
Well, it's a great scene.
Yeah, put on this blaster helmet, which I was like, who would wear this thing? Yeah. You can't see out of it.
What purpose would that serve?
The blaster helmet is what I call when I play with your balls. You put on the blaster helmet.
Well, it was kind of a cool look.
Man,
it's a placeholder setting because like a lot of shit had happened, and then now you have a new group.
Well, you know what's funny? We forgot, like, I know we were talking about fucking Christmas specials, and we're not really talking about the movie in order. Right. Because, like, we forgot about, obviously, Luke gets the droids, and then they go out, and then they run to the Sand People, and that's when Obi-Wan shows up to help them. Yeah. And then he's hanging out with Obi-Wan, but then he's like, I gotta go home or something. And then you see Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen are literally fried skeletons. Yeah. Like, they're just sitting there, fried skeletons.
Well, I was like... That always struck me as like, that's pretty intense.
It's pretty intense.
Like, the original Star Wars had, like, people were dying in that pretty left and right. Like, in the original invasion of the Blockade Runner, there's like a dozen or so of those soldiers that got killed. Yeah. And some stormtroopers that got killed.
Like I said, there was that theory that I tell you, like, people always said, like, when Obi-Wan cuts off the Horse Man's arm, that it leaves, like, all this blood. Right. And I said that I think that supposedly from the rumor was to give it a higher, so it wouldn't be rated G.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I could see that, yeah. I mean, because it was... Well, look, Ben cut off that guy's arm pretty quickly. Like, he just demonstrated the fact that he can tell people to do things with the Force. Right. Like, these aren't the droids you're looking for, let us through, blah, blah. So he goes to the bar, and there's going to be a fight, and Ben's like chopping off limbs.
Right, they're just like fucking with them, and then he's like, "Let me buy a drink." You'll be that. Right, and that just happens so fast, and the guy's arms on the ground, and it just disappears, and then Han shows up.
Right, now it is a great scene because Ben at first comes off as a kook, right, and then he comes off as
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, okay, because he's talking about the Clone Wars and this, that, whatever, and you're like, okay, maybe this guy used to be a badass, and then you go into Mos Eisley and you see him do the jiu-jitsu mental ninja stuff, and you're like, okay, and then it ramps up to dude slicing off arms with a laser sword.
So, and this is where again we go into the prequel problem versus New Hope.
Sure.
I talked about this in the last one about his outfit, the fact that what is he? He's known as a wizard.
Yep.
And his name was Ben Kenobi.
Right.
Old Ben Kenobi versus Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
So, and he wears the same fucking outfit. And it's like, motherfucker, you're on the run.
Yeah,
why would you still be Kenobi? Like, and also, why would you name the kid Skywalker?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he be Luke Lars?
Right.
Like, there's no reason it makes no fucking sense. If you're on the run, and here's a kid, I give you the Lars a kid.
That's funny, yeah.
And you're like, listen, maybe Obi-Wan kind of gave him like a backstory, what happened. It's like, hey, maybe those people you met for like 2 seconds in the last movie. Right. And they're like, oh yeah, I remember that in the last movie, because that's how they refer to him.
That's how they talk about it.
Yeah, I met him for like 30 seconds. He seemed like an asshole.
Right.
Killed all those sand people. He just showed up and took my protocol droid. Where is that thing? Oh, it's back.
Right.
Oh, I don't remember. Hey, you protocol droid. What the fuck? They had C-3PO.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking movie sucked. Why are we talking about these movies? They had C-3PO working on the farm.
Yeah.
C-3PO was there. And I know he was covered in like a rusty outfit.
Right.
But you'd think they would remember this. Oh, yeah, you remind me of this droid I used to have working on the farm. He sounded like a dainty British man. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, none of that adds
up. Well, C-3PO's memory was wiped. That was like the one thing they did in episode 3. They made sure to wipe his memory. It was like a last second thing. And he was like, oh, my. And then but I guess everyone else had no fucking memory.
I don't know.
I guess people, maybe the way people see the droids are like, I don't sit there and go, oh yeah, like going to a pawn shop and see like my VHS player from like 1987.
Is that my VHS?
I'm like, oh shit, and it's like beep 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 boop,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's how people see droids in the Star Wars universe. They just like. Well, they just look at them like the way we look at like a spoon or something, and they don't give a shit. But he worked on the fucking farm with the Lars. And then Anakin took he grabs C-3PO. For some reason, C-3PO comes on the journey with them for and then the next scene, the end of the movie, Obi-Wan shows up with a baby.
Yeah,
and they're super excited to have it.
It's weird,
and they're like, and Obi-Wan's like, it's a Skywalker or something, and they're like, oh, cool. Well, make sure you hide it. I'll name it Skywalker. That's a good idea.
Right, yeah.
I'm not going to change my name or my outfit either.
Right.
We're on the run. He would be Luke Lars.
Yeah.
Now, again, I know this movie was, and let's say they knew that. They could have said his name was Luke Lars in the beginning of the movie.
Sure.
And then when he meets Obi-Wan, he gets the revelation.
Right, you are actually a
Skywalker. And
that would have made more sense.
And that could have been like, okay, so there we go. We're just remade Star Wars for the new
generation.
The CGI, all CGI, perfect, no uncanny valley problem.
Right.
Recreation of the movie. There'll be a scene in the movie where you're introduced to Luke, and his name is Luke Lars.
Yeah, and then Ben pulls him aside and says...
And when Ben meets him, he tells him, you're actually a Skywalker. And he'll be like, what? And then he tells him everything about his dad. Even though he knows about his dad, I guess he knew who his dad was. Because he even talks about his dad as a Jedi. And he's like, oh, you knew my dad? And he's like, yeah, he was my best friend. I also cut off his arms, and here's the lightsaber I took for him as he was burning in a crisp.
Yeah, that was.
I'm telling you, he was my brother, but he said he hated me.
Yeah.
I did have the higher ground.
Hey, that's how it goes.
So, yeah, the prequels, like, just...
They did make a lot of problems. Well, you almost wonder, like, look, the original 3 movies, Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi, were like a nice story. And you had said this at the very beginning of the podcast. The prequels being solely based on Vader, or like Vader-focused, makes you almost can't help but to reconsider the other films as being also Vader-centric.
It becomes Vader-centric in Empire. Because clearly, like, Vader was super popular after Star Wars.
Right.
So it became Vader-centric in the second movie. And then the third movie, it was literally all Vader.
But Luke was still the protagonist. Luke was still the person driving.
Luke was, but he was... Vader was already established. He was the biggest thing. I mean, like you said, you went to the mall, and there was the Jawa.
Vader and Jawa.
Vader and Jawa. You know, that's what I'm surprised. Lucky you. When I went, they had said Nugnaught.
Yeah, right.
Well, all they had was that weird 6-titty lady from Return of the Jedi. When I went to the video store,
that's so great.
I was like, you couldn't get anyone else. 6-titty lady from Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Ugh.
Oof, mercy. Well, okay, so trying to jump back into the movie, they get on the ship.
What are we talking about?
The Falcon. Well, the last we talked about the film plot. They're on the Falcon, and you get the scene set again because you have a new cast of characters. You've added Chewbacca and Han.
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. And you need to figure out how all these characters are going to relate to each other, right? Like, if there's going to be an uneasy truce, and you see, like, you know, don't let the Wookiee win, and you see like some.
No, you let the Wookiee win. If you don't, they're known for pulling arms out of sockets.
Right. Limb severing.
Yeah. So more limb severing. I think.
Yeah.
George Lucas has a fetish.
I would bet.
What's that documentary? Hole.
Right.
You ever seen that documentary? Which people that like, it's an actual like disorder where people like want to remove their leg.
Yeah, like a boxing Helena type of thing. Like,
well, they want to take off a part of their body, like they either remove their arm, and there's like, they'll do it, and they'll do it like horribly, or like there was one guy on crutches, and he'll just tie his leg back and it's a disorder.
That's scary.
Maybe Lucas has that, but just for his characters.
Yeah, like empathetically or something.
Yeah, a fetish.
Yeah.
Let's sever a limb. You sure, Lucas? Yes. I want to cut off Luke's hand. Ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Cut his hand off. Remember that scene? Why does Lucas sound like Peter Griffin?
Yeah. So then I don't know. It seems like there aren't that many scenes that happen. They get on the Death Star.
Well, yeah, they're flying, and then they're like. A TIE fighter flies by itself or whatever, and like,
which is very ominous, yeah.
And then they see the Death
small
Star,
moon.
and they're like, "That's no moon."
Yeah.
Oh, in between all that though, while that's happening,
that's right, yeah.
you go to like back to Leia.
Well, they go to where they think. Well, okay,
and they're gonna blow up. They're gonna test the power of the Death
Star.
Even though we already saw the power of testing in Rogue One. We need to see it again.
Well, and did you see, like, Moff Tarkin is like...
He looked better in this movie.
He did.
He looked more human. It was
he's
weird.
Like, he's like, we're going to try an alternate means of persuasion. And
Leia looked a lot better, too. She didn't look like a lumpy ball of oatmeal. She did in Rogue One.
Well, Moff Tarkin is like, we're going to try to alternately persuade her, give her alternate means of persuasion.
And that ball shows up.
Well, and Vader's like, what are you talking about? Like, Vader's not even in on it at all. It's like 100% Moff Tarkin's decision to nuke.
Yeah, Vader's just a henchman in this movie.
He is. He's
not. He's just a bad guy. Like he is. Like, did you see Willow?
Yeah.
Do you remember there was like the guy with the mask, and he was like a general?
Right.
He was like a higher up. He'd be like, if you were playing a video game, he would be like the second to last boss.
Right.
That's
the boss
Vader
before
was.
the big boss.
Yeah, Vader was the boss before the last boss.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the main boss. That's what I mean. It wasn't until Empire that it becomes more of a Vader-centric trilogy. And then it was all about Vader, and it was like, whoa, what's under the mask? But in that first movie, again, it's like,
He's pretty one-dimensional.
It becomes popular after because he was cool and he was different and you liked him. But if you're going by the rules of the movie, not by audience perception, but by the movie, Vader is just some dude. Mm-hmm. And again, when you watch Episode 3, and Vader's Jedi Jesus or Jedi Antichrist, right. And it's the biggest thing in the fucking universe. And you watch Star Wars, and it's just like he's being bitched out by Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah, like you said, like stop it, and then that guy's like, take your attack dog off of me.
Yeah,
be like Vader would just be like choking them all.
Right. I mean,
But it's funny because like in Empire, you see that he does start to like
assert himself.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have Grand Moff Tarkin on top of them, and he's just like he's running the show now.
Well, you get the feeling too, like if you take the prequels into consideration, they had the Republic, and then the Republic fell, and you had the rise of the Empire, and I did like how like the prequels. And I know this wasn't intentional, but the prequels are so glossy and shining. You have Coruscant and these big... Yeah. And by the time you get to Star Wars: A New Hope, it's not the aftermath, but it's the war is over and the good guys lost.
It makes sense that like, and I've like read about this, and my whole thing was, one of the excuses was like, well, the technology would be better in the past because like. This is post-war.
Right, yes.
But one person made a good point, said even if, like, let's say everything's like Tatooine now or something,
sure.
Right, the military weaponry would be better. Even as war goes on, they would put all their money and focus. So, like, the AT-ATs should have been even better.
Right.
So it doesn't make any sense to have like these amazingly sleek ships and... I mean, the only excuse you could say is like everything's colder, more mechanical. While in the prequels, it's like I always say, it's like everything looks like an old Corvette.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like, it's like
curvy lines.
Curvy. Yeah. It looks like old Corvettes, and then you get to like Star Wars, and it's like 70s cars. It's like blocky and
right.
Gas guzzlers and
it makes sense. Like Tatooine was a backwater place.
No, I'm talking about even like the X-wings. The X-wing evolution,
and right,
like even they are like just so mechanical looking. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, you look at the ships from Episode 1, like the yellow ones, and they're so sleek and like
retro futuristic and all that. Yeah. Huh.
Again, whatever. It's a movie. It's made up.
Well, it is.
So you get to like they get on the Death Star. Mm-hmm. They somehow get on it. I don't even understand.
They had originally, like, because you show back to Leia, but then they go through...
Oh, they blew up Alderaan.
And Han comes out of hyperspace, and they're in a meteor field, and...
whenever Obi-Wan's like... They're like, oh... I'm like, what's the matter? He's like, oh... It's
disturbance in the Force.
I feel like 1 million people have died. Millions of people have died at once or something. And they're like, oh, okay.
But then they get there, and there's like an unexpected asteroid field and no Alderaan, and they quickly put 2 and 2 together, like... The planet's been destroyed. And then, you're right, subsequent to that, they wind up on the Death Star. They hide under the floor panels. And somehow, it's an implausible series of events.
They come out as Stormtroopers. You know what's funny? Like, when we talk about Spaceballs, there's one scene that, and we talk about all the funny scenes. I like kicked myself in the head. Like, I wish we like went back and recorded it for the podcast. One of the funniest scenes we left out. We talked about like them watching themselves on video. And
the
test
dummies.
Doubles.
Yeah. Stunt doubles.
That is one of the fucking
yeah.
And when I was watching Star Wars, because they're in Spaceballs, it's like a recreation of them. Like they're wearing like the Spaceballs outfits, so they're in disguise.
Yeah,
and it's like when they're in their Stormtrooper outfits, and they end up in like that.
Yeah,
pit or whatever.
Right.
But like that scene when the guy shows up and he's like.
Yes.
You Lone Star. You thought you can... And then they turn around like, you idiots! You called their stunt doubles! Like Princess Vespa, just some dude smoking a cigar. And like...
Yeah, that is
like
one
of the most brilliant... I totally forgot about it when we were watching the fucking...
Well, that's like a hallmark of Mel Brooks movies, is that there's like 100 jokes a minute. It's easy to lose... Yeah, but it's easy to lose track of them.
To me, I don't know, I could say that one of the top 5 jokes in the movie. And watching the Star Wars movie, maybe someone gotta bring it in. So,
that's funny.
if you want to go back and edit your own episode of Spaceballs. You could take this chunk and put it in with Spaceballs, and now you can make your own special edition Wise Goat Spaceballs episode with the cut scene of the stunt doubles.
Then you're one step closer to the jerk-off chamber from THX 1138. Okay, well,
which went to Itchy in the Christmas special.
So they get on. They get on there. And you know what happened on that Death Star? Did you have the Death Star toy as a kid? Oh yeah, I had the Death Star toy.
Oh, lucky you.
Well, and it was a 4-story thing, and one of the featured parts was the trash compactor.
And it came with. I heard the joke is like. It was foam, and it came with the thing, the creature.
It did. It came with the creature.
But, like, people are like, okay, if you have the toy, if you want to get, like, the full value of it, you better have those foam pieces. It's, like, impossible to have that. It's, like, degraded. It's, like...
I don't remember them as foam. I mean, they probably were. I remember there being, like, random crap that was the trash in the trash compactor
It was, like, little foam pieces. Because I remember the same thing, too. Like, I had the Yoda playset.
Yeah.
And there was, like, a pit. It was supposed to be, like... it was like a tiny little hole, and it had foam, and that's where you could put R2, like he was thinking in the swamp.
Right.
And like again, that foam, it's like after like 20 times doing it starts shredding. And,
yeah. You leave it in the sun, and it's like it did come with a little creature and everything. And that was such a great scene in the. That was probably as a kid.
The penis eye that comes out of the water. Like, right. And then it goes and grabs Luke, and it's just like a tentacle. It's well done because you don't see the thing.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so in this imaginary, like, where they do remake the movie. Like, I almost don't want them. This is where I don't want them to be like, oh, we're going to have a big monster come out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't
just leave it to be this unseen thing.
That is like that's where it works.
Yeah.
Where I want updates is just like the dogfight in the end of the movie just to be a little more intense. The fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader to be just a little bit
more dynamic.
Did you see? Oh, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see the video?
Which one?
The people made?
Yes. Are you talking about the Vader Obi-Wan battle edit?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want them to switch up a bit more and edit that into the movie. It's amazing. It's super well done.
Yeah. I think Star Wars is something that a lot of people have kind of done homebrew fan.
But to me, that's like there was rumors going around like when before episode 3 came out. In the theater, they released the DVD set with the new edits.
Right.
They got rid of the yelling when Luke falls.
I
forgot they added some other things. That's where they edited in like Anakin in the end.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
One of the rumors going around was that they were going to They were going to have a new fight scene between Obi-Wan and Vader.
Okay.
Where they weren't just looking like they were
slow boxing or something.
Like broadswords, you say? Or broom handles.
Right.
They were going to, like, redo it. And they were going to have, like, make it more intense. And, no, they didn't. But, I want that edited into the thing.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
It, like, works perfectly the way they do it. And like I said, to honestly touch it up a little better. But
I think, that'd be easy to do, and it would look real good. Right? I mean, that's not...
they freaking did it. It looked phenomenal. So you just take that and you go, okay, let's add our Disney magic, and then like BB-8 shows up, and then like a
Porkins,
and a Rose.
So they have the climactic scene. There's a lot going on, but like you have
So when they get on the ship, basically this is where like Obi-Wan basically says goodbye to Luke.
Yep.
When they get on the Death Star, he's like, all right, well I'm gonna go do my Obi-Wan thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're on your own journey. I'm gonna go now. Bye. And he's like, what?
Right. I'll see you again. Well, briefly.
I'll scream from a distance in your brain. I guess he's goes to like shut down something. Yeah,
he is going to shut down the tractor beam, right?
I guess.
Okay. Well, you have Luke's rescue of Leia. You have, and then you have.
Well, they didn't even. Did they know to rescue? Yeah, I guess they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then that's when Luke says to Han, "She's rich."
Yeah,
he's playing it to him.
Right.
That's great. That's like one of the best scenes.
That is a great scene. How rich?
Yeah. And then Luke goes and you see Leia when she's laying sexy.
Pretty short for a stormtrooper.
And she says that, and he's like, "Hey."
Yeah. My name's Luke Skywalker. I'm here.
Yeah. The gang's all together, and like I said, this is like the scene where you see Leia, and she's like, "Give me that gun!" And she starts shooting, and it's like a big deal.
It's a big deal,
especially again, this movie came out in the '70s, and I mean, there already were badass women characters and stuff like that, but on a mainstream, super mainstream, everybody and your mama seeing this.
Yes.
It's a big deal on a cultural level. Like people forget that. They'll be like, "Oh, what about Pam Grier and this?" I'm like, okay, well, that was like a low budget movie. Like, well, that's not like everybody seeing that movie. This is like everyone's seeing this movie. This is like
it's funny
American folklore.
It is, and I never thought about this before. But even when she is a damsel in distress, she's like captured by the bad guys. She's withstanding torture. Right? Like that little thing.
You don't know either.
And she's like, they say right after she didn't bend. And when Luke comes, she doesn't like collapse into his arms. She's like, is this it? This is my rescue team. And she shoots back. And I mean, though
it gets covered in sludge, but somehow her outfit is perfectly clean after they get out of the...
Yeah. Even though she's like a damsel in distress briefly, it's not in the old school... screaming way. I mean, she's a pretty powerful figure, even in...
I mean, they use, like, the classic moments, like, when they swing across like, Luke and...
Tarzan and Jane style.
Yeah, and she kisses him and everything, and...
Chastely.
Yes. Not like the way a brother and sister would.
Yeah.
For luck. And I'd be like, if that was my sister, like, ew.
Right. Well, then you have...
They didn't know.
Yeah. They do get away after the loss of Ben. And
okay, so again, we talked about that with the fight and that scene, and again, you watch episode 3 and you're watching this, and you're just like, where's all the flippy flips?
Right.
Doing all that force shit.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell's going on here?
Yoda's like 700 years old and he's doing twice that. Yeah.
My arthritis is kicking in.
Well,
IBS.
I remember even as a kid
I have asthma now since you put me in this.
I remember as a kid even thinking that the lightsaber scene was underwhelming. I didn't know what to chalk it up to. It didn't bother me that much, but I was like, this isn't a sword fight like I've seen in other films,
It's not intense. As I said, like, I would...
Right.
Come on, Lucas, just take that scene that those people made, just steal it, put them online... Spruce it up a bit, and
I guess you could argue that Obi-Wan was trying to die.
Well, yeah, obviously he knew this was like a suicide mission for him.
Yes.
I mean, he looked at Luke, and he was like, "Hey."
Right.
And then he just turns into like Robe.
Yeah.
He turned into Robe, right?
Right.
He just like.
And Vader looks very puzzled.
He's like, "What?" And then he's like looking in the robe. Like, are you in there, Obi-Wan? Did you become small? Did you become another Disney property, Ant-Man?
Yeah.
I become more powerful than you'll ever imagine. Really?
Well,
did he get that powerful?
Well,
I'll whisper in a boy's ear.
Yeah. Well, you do see that next, and like, okay, so just we're gonna jump ahead because if you're listening
seen this
to
movie.
this, you've seen it. Yeah. So
we have to spend time talking about the jerk off machine. For
I had to work that in there, but at the end, you do see like that great scene. Luke's going down the trenches.
Whoa, you didn't even get to... You just jumped...
I said I was going to jump ahead.
Yeah, you jumped like... I mean, there's that important scene where they're all sitting around a room and an old man tells them what to do.
No, they go back to Yavin.
Yep.
And yes, and...
Well, they go to Yavin.
Okay.
We've never seen it.
You're right.
I love that guy in the pod who's just holding the beam. He looks like he's doing something so important. He's not really doing anything. He's like, I'm holding this thing. I'm guiding you in. I'm helping here.
But it's like such a cool thing because you're like, oh, here's another alien location. Oh, bet, right?
Of course, I had to.
And
gotta feed the disease.
Yeah, right. Did you ever? Who was the one from Cloud City? Lobot.
Yeah,
Lobot.
Yeah. Very important character.
Yes. But you saw them go back there and they're planning, and here you see the rebellion as like an actual organized force. This is probably the first time you see the rebellion per se.
Yeah, right? You don't ever see the rebellion
right.
from the movie because they cut out that scene with Biggs where he just mentions rebellion. So the funny thing is, that's why what's great about this movie is it's like it now you're in this bigger world. It's like everything, like Luke goes through all these transformations through the movie. He's just a kid.
Just to get here.
And then you go to the Death Star, and then they escape, and then they go there, and now they're part of a military operation, and you don't even know how long he's been there. I know in the re-edits too, supposedly they edited it to have that the Death Star originally was not, the Death Star was coming to them. They had to attack it because they found out where the rebel base was and they were going to blow it up.
Yeah, well, they put a tracking beacon on.
Well, in the original version, that before all the edits, it wasn't coming to them.
Yeah, okay.
They were just going to it.
Right.
Which, there's no tension.
Right.
There's no drama.
Yeah,
so
that is funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's done through edits. So you think that, and... Yeah, so they launch all this shit. Oh, I love that. All right, yeah. And the guy's like, we're supposed to shoot a beam into a 2-meter hole or something.
That's easy.
No big deal. I used to ship womp rats on my Skyhopper. The guy should be like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
Why are you dressed up like a little robe?
Yeah.
I don't remember if he was in his little X-Wing outfit yet. I don't think he was.
Well, it was, Luke was a little cocky at that moment. But they get back there, they're planning the attack, and then you see Han abandoned.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go now. He's
right.
Like, oh, you're just in for the money. He's like,
and Chewie seemed real sad about it, but he's going to go with his boy Han. Yeah. And then the next thing you know, they're going to go take off and fight the Death Star. And you do get the scene, and I know this is where I kind of started out previously, but where Luke's in the trench, and he's going to, shoot the Death Star, and Ben starts talking in his ear, which is what you were saying about him becoming more powerful.
Yeah.
And Vader knows it. Vader knows that something's
that's always the weird thing, too. This is the only movie of the series where you see Vader flying a ship.
Yeah, that's true. He's like a regular pilot.
He's just like, I have you now. And it's so cheesy with him in the ship.
Yeah.
It just looks so bad.
But he had the killer TIE fighter.
The cooler TIE fighter.
Cooler TIE fighter. And a lot during that scene, you can see David Prowse's actual eyes and the reflection of the
Did you ever see original clips before they added James Earl Jones' voice? And
but I've heard about this.
It's David Prowse talking.
Right.
He did all the lines.
And they said he had a country accent.
Country Scottish. He's like, it's super funny. I can't even, it's just it's very, he was this big dude. But, man, he was not, an intimidating sounding
They
man.
said that all the other cast members called him Darth Farmer during that.
I have you now. You got to see the clips. It's
Google
super.
that,
First of all, it's behind a mask. Well, I'm assuming they always knew that they were going to re-record those
Sure.
lines no matter what in the end.
Yeah, you don't need to even lip sync it. You just,
they just had them do the lines just so people, when they do the back and forth.
Right.
But it's super funny.
Oh, check that out.
It just shows you what James Earl Jones' voice added to it. What a massive difference that was. Yeah. Without that, it's not even the movie. It's just it means nothing.
Yeah.
His voice is what makes it.
It's all that. It is.
Luke blows up the Death Star.
Yeah, good job.
Vader ship kind of spins out of control,
which
is really funny looking. He's like, I'm fine now. All right, later. I'm gonna. Wait, first of all, okay.
Yeah.
Again, this is prequels and Star Wars, and this is why. Again, this movie by itself is amazing. Yep. By itself, it works as an artifact of American culture, American cinema. But as a big part of the series, it's very problematic.
Yes,
and I'm not talking about Vader doesn't get the right pronouns right. It's really weird. Yeah, Vader. So his ship gets out of control, but he gains control of his ship, and he flies away like a little wimp. And there's only 3 remaining ships.
Yeah.
Vader was just like, fuck this.
Right.
Turns around and shoots them all down.
Yeah. Yeah, it went
I would imagine Vader got blown away. His ship flew. There was a big, massive, it was the size of the planet. So his ship, he was like,
Yeah.
So he was all the way on the other side of the, and he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's a movie.
Well,
so
no, go ahead. What were you going to say?
That's it. Then at the end of the movie, They all get medals except Chewbacca.
Except Chewbacca.
What the... And Chewbacca's face, it's so funny. Like, it's amazing how much emotion came out of this creature's mask.
Yeah, real well
like,
done.
Sometimes there'd be like a little smile.
Yeah.
And it'd just be like a little one, but it was like kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And smile. And like, Luke's getting the... I always loved Luke's outfit in the end.
Yeah.
The yellow jacket.
Right.
I always wanted to see more of that. And the one thing I always liked about the comics, he would wear that.
Yeah.
And
Okay, I
remember
remember
little
that.
adventures in between Star Wars and Empire.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that in the end.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But... So he gets the medal, Han gets the medal.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's like teasing where Leia's like looking at Luke and Luke's looking at Han. She's like, I don't know which one I want.
Right.
He's a blonde, he's a brunette.
Yeah.
You know,
You did think
she's
that
like
at the end.
she's like Archie. You know, it's like
Right.
Betty and Veronica.
Betty and
You
Veronica.
know, and then Chewbacca's back there looking at her like, you gonna give me a medal?
Right.
Am I gonna get a medal too?
He is not gonna
and
medal.
she's just like, yeah. And then he just turns around. And he's like, what the fuck? And everybody's looking up, and everyone's happy, but he's like, everyone thinks, oh, you're roaring because you're Chewbacca and you're just a dumb Wookiee. And he's just like, I'm a fucking sentient creature. We have our own planet. I'm not a fucking dog, you racist bitch. Give me my fucking medal.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Super. Because when they made the movie, that's how he was perceived to always be.
As like this subservient sidekick type of... Yeah.
Yeah, he was to be... It wasn't like later when, oh, people on Kashyyyk are poets and scholars. No, he was just a big space ape.
Yeah. He became very popular after the fact, and then they had to kind of like retrofit him as a much more...
He's like a mechanic.
Dynamic
building
character.
He's like working on the Millennium Falcon. And... he's doing all kinds. He puts C-3PO back together.
Right.
He's like,
he's walking around with him in like a little tote. Like,
that
was a good one.
So, but in the original Star Wars movie, he's perceived as just a space ape.
Yeah, I can see that.
Fucking Leia, man. She's a phrenologist.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And then that was all we had until the Christmas special, and then the toys. And
well,
then...
I didn't have any of that because I was very little.
Yeah,
I didn't see it till I was 6. So Empire was real. I was 3 when I saw Empire in the theater.
Yeah.
And that's really when it...
My mom
maybe
let
4.
me...
I was like 3 or 4 years old.
My mom let me take the day off school to see Empire when it came out. And that was like the first time she'd let me skip school.
When you... Okay, well, we'll get to... We're not going to talk about Empire now, but when you saw it, did you like it? Like, or did you... Where you were like, what the fuck is this?
I loved it. I did not love the ending. You know, I was like concerned with the ending because it had been... Like, I was a little kid still. It had been like 3 years since Star Wars. I was like, am I going to have to wait another fucking 3 years to see how this
Well, that's
ends?
the thing. You waited 3 years for Star Wars, but Star Wars didn't end really on a cliffhanger. It's a fun movie, but Empire left on a fucking cliffhanger.
Absolute cliffhanger.
We'll get to Empire.
Yes.
We're going to leave this on a cliffhanger.
Right.
I don't know what we're going to talk about next, but we'll get to Empire in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, Empire. Yeah, so did I like Empire? I'll tell you, man.
There's no reason to talk about it right now.
Yeah, okay,
it doesn't
right.
exist. We haven't got there.
Right.
We're on episode 4.
Yeah. How do you? I guess as we're wrapping this up, like, I still think like, and I meant to say this at the beginning, but Star Wars for me probably is the first time I thought about movies in like a meta sense where I'm thinking about movies, because there's a whole bunch of shows after Star Wars. I think there's a show called like 20th Century Fox. I think that's what it was called, or Hooray for Hollywood, or something like that, where they talked about movies and they showed like how they made the laser beam noise by banging a high tension wire or something, and they showed like different things, like this is the model we used for this, and I ate those up. I mean, I sat through like a ton that I didn't care about just to see the ones they did on Star Wars. And Star Wars like changed the way I like everything for me.
It's amazing what they had to do to get those effects, and now it's like some kid could do that in his
just
basement.
press a button.
Well, it's more complicated than that, but but they're not making models and rigs and coming up with spending like rigs and creating all kinds of, like, they had to do like 5 different types of camera shots and have a full studio. Just some guy downloading a free software and recreating it, making sure the lighting is all, as long as you make the lighting all correct and it looks good. the ships are gonna look decent. There's something about those ships, like it's funny, like when they're attacking the Death Star in the end. There's some scenes where it just looks so fucking fake. Like, and I'm surprised, like for all the, I never understood the special editions too. It's like they go in and they touch up things, right? And then the way they touch up things, like the explosions and everything, it looks good. They should have went in and touched up all the explosions. Because when they didn't, this one looked like a firework. Like literally someone just threw a firecracker on a model kit. And that's what it looked like.
Yeah,
and
that's what the opening scene looked like.
What?
That's what the opening scene looked like for me on the TNT version I watched the other night.
You mean like when they're breaking into the room?
Right.
That doesn't bother me as much. I'm talking about when they're attacking the Death Star and the ship crashes into like the Death Star. It just
looks like a sparkler.
It just looks so fake. And I'm like, and I think that's where the special edition ruins it. It's like, if you're gonna do it, just redo the whole entire space battle.
Right.
Like, make the explosion like a boom. Like, you know, like, it's stupid. Like, why? Okay, we just wanted to have some cool X-Wings in this one scene. It's weird.
It doesn't make sense.
It's like, you might as well just touch up that whole scene. I mean, you don't have to redo everything, but we're like, again, like I said, it looked like someone threw a snap on the ground in my backyard.
It did.
So I recommend, though, to wrap this up, a good documentary to watch. I think it came with Blu-rays and stuff, but you could, if you got Amazon Prime, Empire Dreams.
Oh, okay.
I think Ken Burns directed it.
Oh, really?
So, it's cool. A documentary on the original trilogy. I think it came out like around the time the prequels were coming out.
I've not heard of that. I'll check it out. It's
really good. Most of it is on the production of Star Wars, and that's what I was talking about, the editing. Highly recommend that. Just to show you like what a nightmare the first movie was to make. And then it's funny too when you learn about Empire and Return, and it's like why Lucas didn't direct those. It was because he was too busy trying to make his company.
Yeah,
he basically was creating a company.
Is that when he's starting up like Industrial Light and Magic?
Yep, and all that stuff, and he's like trying to become independent from the studio, and basically so he can own everything, and he can. You know, he was like dealing with banks. Like he literally bankrolled the sequels by himself.
Well, I remember he had a big argument. We'll talk about it when we talk about Empire. But that's why he wasn't a director for Empire, because he wanted...
Same thing with Return. He was like too busy. You know, like one of the funny things, you know about... and we'll probably talk about this when we get to Return again anyway. Blue Harvest.
I don't think so.
Okay, so the joke is, and sometimes there's shirts you can find of it if you want to get them.
Yeah.
It was a dummy title that they made, the studio made, so people didn't know they were filming Star Wars.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I like the one theory that I was like fans, just so fans wouldn't know. The real reason they didn't want they called it Blue Harvest because they didn't want to get ripped off. Because if you went in and said, we're making the third Star Wars movie, the most anticipated, the finishing
film
trilogy,
up till that time,
people are going to be like, oh, this bagel's now $5 versus like 30 cents. You know, it's like little things like that. So they were like, we're just going to be a regular movie. We're called Blue Harvest. Eventually the jig was out. But for the most important starts in the beginning, I guess, because they would have been like,
absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that
lattes like 18
RV you rented, that was $200. Yeah, that's now $17,000.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
So I always find that kind of interesting. Yeah. So watch that documentary. Don't watch the prequels before you watch New Hope.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I mean,
I'd say you watch.
It was never my
4, 5, 6.
It's funny to say like I love Star Wars, but the fact that the first movie has never been my favorite film is kind of odd. But
that is funny
to me. Star Wars is just like it's like Star Trek. It's like no one likes Star Trek 1.
No,
they love the TV show, but no one really likes the first movie.
No, look. I loved it in a weird way, but I agree.
It's funny by renaming it Star Wars New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
They've like made sure that it wasn't just viewed as it becomes, instead of the whole brand relying on this one movie now.
It's a chapter.
It's a chapter and part of it, and now Star Wars is the brand. No, this isn't Star Wars. This is Star Wars: A New Hope.
Right.
Episode 4.
That was very clever.
This isn't Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I love that. It's like things that like lead to a story, but then you find out it's all for legal shit. It's the real story. Like it's like oh, that's really cool. It's part of a 9-chapter thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called it episode 4 so the studio doesn't try to, it's like...
Exactly.
It's
Someone had already patented the phrase jack-off chamber. That's why we called it this.
Jack-off chamber. All right, well, on that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and Joseph K. Remember, you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, CastBox, and Podbean. So remember to like and subscribe, share, comment, leave us a basket of fruit or candy. Thank you for listening. All right, later. Bye.